Good morning again. Let's start the goal at the right time this time. All the color, and we go for 3 hours for negotiation. Okay, let it happen. Thank you. We're getting into the groove of this. Um, there we go. Right, can everybody hear me? Say everybody as if there's a lot of you guys. There's two, but I suppose that's me. I'm one of the viewers. Anyway, uh, let's get to the diagramming. This morning, we starting a little bit earlier, so maybe a few more people will be able to just say hi. Let's go to diagramming. Right. So what I have done is purchased Xmind Pro, and we are doing this online thanks to Xmind Pro. So here we are. You can, I think yeah, I have put the link to the diagram in the description of part 2. You should be able to watch me live diagram. So this is the online version, and what we have now is pitch mode. So let's see how pitch mode works while we are we've just started with Xmind Pro again, so use pitch mode to recap. See how this flows. Let's see if I'm going to use it in videos. So let's go to the next one. Transitioning kids. Intro. So obviously um, we spoke about that, but look how it tells you stuff. Key. Remember Blair? Why did we have a heart for Blair? You guys can't see because my face is here. But we have a heart for Blair because Blair is I'm biased towards her. Brianna. Okay, those are participants, and then we got Brad and commentary. Cool. Topics. Let's see which of the topics are us. We haven't spoken exactly about the US election, and they've mentioned Trump's executive order. But now, in this part, we're going to be going more into detail about that. That's what they're going to be talking about. Okay, bathrooms, passports. At the moment, the only thing that's really been mentioned is the driver's license, I think. But nothing detailed for Trump's executive order. Then trans activism, we've had that. They've spoken about it, and we haven't had the golden moment of saying what trans is that Brianna Wu has later on. Rights and needs. This is going to also be covered a lot more in this episode, in this part of the diagram, because Brianna is talking a lot more about about socially transitioning and what rights the parents should have to socially transition their kids. Cool. And how to change your mind is what we had yesterday. It was basically what do you do when you're changing your tune politically. It was, oh, I'm here. Let's go. Hi, Miss Sparkles. Good to see you. Okay. So let's see where we go. It's very slow. Why should it be banned? You can do. Yeah. Okay. So it helps. Pitch mode does help nicely. Obviously, if our face is not in the way. But if we go and exit it, yes, I want to exit pitch mode. We just get to see a lot more. I look like an Amish girl tonight. Cute. I know it's my look. You can't really see how nice the shirt is, but it's new. So I was like, let me wear it, and it goes all the way down. It's like it's a really long shirt too. So I just enjoy it. I like it. Oh, I'm glad you like it because I like it. Um, feels very demure to wear. Um, it's the first time I'm wearing it actually, so I'm glad you like it. Right, what's the time for you, Miss Sparkles? Okay, let's see. Uh, gosh, a lot. Okay, so we got to 24 minutes, and the whole thing is an hour. So I'm trying to finish this thing today. Um, so I guess we should just get into it. I was gonna do a recap, but the recap is, hey, they argued. They said we could see what AI says about it at some point. What time is it? Is that what you asked? Yes, I did. Um, anyway, we've got I mean, this part, I think basically what we did is Brianna just got into a whole, um she went actually off tangent. Yeah, over here. DSM-5 change. She just went through to make sure she could make her points about this. 8:45 PM? Okay, that's nice. That's not too bad. Um, okay, let's go into the next part of the diagram, which is the future of trance medicine. This is what, he has put as the next, what do you call it? The next section of his video. This one. There we go. Alright. Oh, now I can hear myself. That's not fun. Okay. So the last thing we were at is, let's just go back so I can show you. This is where she was at last. Okay.
Politics here are driving, and I just think like 80 to 90% reduction. And I just think like the politics here are driving the decision, because the cash report did show that we can't strongly say that transition.
So this is where you can say that what she calls it, the cash report. I'll put it like this: cash report. Cash report, like that. Can't say shows. Okay, that's what she's talking about.
Children helps them, but it also showed that we can't strongly show that transitioning hurts them, which to me indicates we need more science on this.
And again, my whole thing was, let's not sacrifice the children for the science.
And this is the frustrating part of the Trump executive orders, is it's prohibiting fuller research on this, which is not very constructive.
Okay, so that's where we were.
So there will be more research to come out of other countries that will continue to allow clinical trials. But what do you make of that specifically, Blair?
Okay, so the way that he put that is, there would be more, there will be more. He made a value statement, or some sort of, at least this and statement. What the fuck is the cash report? Exactly. Kitty set up allow redirects. Where the hell is that? But are you sure that the people that are on premature ejection right now are the ones that would? Okay, whatever. Let me not look a gift horse in the mouth. Let me see how I do this. Do I go to studio? If I don't do this in time, I deserve it. Good morning, I assume. Yes, Soros. Premature what? Yes, it's called premature ejection. Go to Zax's channel. You'll see what they're doing right now. I don't know, where do I go? Settings, upload defaults or channel, advanced, permissions. No, I don't know where to do it. I don't know if I've got even the ability to be rated. Let's ask Copilot. Blair really needs to stop with the lips. Right, Sparkles? Oh my gosh. Okay, like I love her, but she needs to stop with the lips. She does. It's been like years now that I've been saying that. So that's how long it's been going. Let's see. Copilot. How to. No, just. Sorry, guys. Redirect for. On YouTube. YouTube Studio. YouTube Studio, navigate to settings, select community. Okay. And then? No, that's in settings, go to community. Okay. And then live, all channels can redirect to my, okay. I've got, it says channels that I subscribe to, which should work. Anyway. Okay, I've done it. Okay, anyway, she's really pretty, but the lips bring it down. Yeah, they're getting too, like, it actually is distracting. She's really pretty. Yep. I think anything over like 10% more lip has always been a horrific decision. Yeah, with anyone, I agree. It's like it's actually repulsive to look at. Look, she's not that bad. I've seen worse. Okay, in terms of like where you look at them and you're like, there is body dysmorphia going on with your lips here, that you are not realizing that you just keep filling them up. But then they're like, no, you see, you fill it up and then they deflate. So you fill up more. But I think what actually happens is a lot of the time they lose perception of what their face used to look like. And it just builds up and up and up. And then they just land up more duck face than anything. They thought it just goes away, but no, there's a woman who's had it for like 20 years. What, like the lips go away? Well, they're supposed to, but that's the thing. They think they perceive it, they get used to it, and then their lips look small to them. So yeah, it's definitely something I noticed with Blair, and lots of people did in the comments. But hey, she does what she wants. And it's not like if she continues with her lips, I'm going to suddenly not agree with her ideas. I'm just going to say, I don't agree with your lip filler. That's as far as it is. Yeah. Don't mess with your lips. Maybe just don't do that. Don't mess with your face. It's very scary. That's all I'll say about that. Anyway, live diagramming. Let's go. Maybe I should make what's the name? A goal, and then I'll get one of those. What are those things that make your lips swollen? Unless you're Lindsay Lohan. What did she need to fix her face up? I guess we could do the plastic surgery thing. Okay, let's get back into it. Because we need to hurry up, Sparkles. Her face is crazy. She looks good. She did some experimental thing. Experimental thing? Okay, I'm not going to ADHD. I'm not going to go and look that up. I'll look it up later.
I just think that this is a topic that...
Okay, so what he said before, what do you make of that? So he invited her to respond to what Brianna is asking, but at the same time, he also made a statement that it was there will be more science coming from countries that haven't banned transitioning children. And then invites Blair to Blair invites Blair to explain. To respond. Okay, I know there's no real reason we could continue with this this part and just continue diagramming straight from here. But in the video, in the discussion, he has put a timestamp. So this is where we're going. We're starting this timestamp, the future of trans medicine. That's the basic topic that he's put above there. Let's do and StreamYard. Also, this is panel literally 3 gay men who had different ways of coping with it. That's actually quite a good, an interesting way to see it, Soros. Holy fucking alien look from Blair. Oh, well, that's also what happens with the eyelashes. They get stuck a lot. But yes, that's actually one of Brianna's arguments, is that no, only males that want to transition to females are the ones that need to be transitioned early, because testosterone is such a one-way street. But then at the same time, she spoke about 9 out of 10 of the men who want to transition, they grow out of it and just are homosexual. So that's why I'll end up saying things like "save the gays, please," because it's like we don't need to deal with gayness by putting people through this kind of thing. They can just be gay. Based, I suppose. Hey Jay, what are you still doing awake? Also, JMac wanted his what do you call it? Wanted to change his profile picture, but I love it. Look at that. I love that profile picture. Okay, let's continue. Where we at there?
It's not very constructive.
Yeah, I mean, so there will be more research to come out of other countries that will continue to allow clinical trials. But what do you make of that specifically, Blair?
Oh, he calls it clinical trials that will have allowed. Literally about to go to bed, just saw this. I'll have to catch the other re-upload. Oh, okay, cool. See you, Jay. Thanks for coming to say hi. Go sleepies. She wants them to be stuck and come on people. Can't believe just stopping puberty is not going to have any bad outcomes. Yeah, that's exactly it. Ooh, your tablet broke? Oh no. And then that means you won't join us. Well, yeah, no, you can still join us for Gartic Phone tonight. Just tomorrow morning. Just use your mouse. Ah. Yeah, you're so used to your tablet. It was your staple. I understand. Oh, let's put Brad's style here. Paste style. There we go. Right. Let's close this so that we have a bit more to see. Invites Blair to respond. What do you make of that? Okay, and Blair is responding to Brianna. What is she saying?
I just think that this is a topic that from, as long as I've been involved in this topic and speaking on it and researching it, the data is always just years and years behind what's actually happening. So, I was in 2017 making videos about what I saw was this like exponential boom in detransitioners, particularly kids. You're not seeing studies on that now. You're barely seeing studies on that now. And it's clearly so far behind the actual number of kids that are, desisting. It's actually insane. And so I think that, I don't trust anybody even doing research on this topic.
Okay, so she's basically like, yeah, cool, I get it. I get that you want your research, because basically Brianna's whole thing was, I want better science, right? But yeah, Blair is just like, I don't trust anyone to do the science because of the way it has been. The science takes so long to take effect. Hey Sneem, what's up? Okay, so science takes long to reflect the actual case numbers. Doesn't working. So test the kids. That sounds like a good idea. I'm okay with doing research into the child, see how they go, whether they desist, all of that. I don't think that you should do anything permanent to the child. Even I'm wary about socially transitioning a child. I'm wondering what you do that. Oh, are you being sarcastic? No, it's just good night, Kitsy. Good night, chat. Good night, Jay. What I'm saying is the kind of testing I'm okay with is literally just researching the children who desist, like research that without changing the child. I like his profile pic too. Yeah, he is so cute. Okay, invites Blair to respond. Don't trust anyone to do the science. You can actually see how tired Blair is with this conversation. She's just like, I have no hope. And you know what? Because she's been speaking about it for years as well. So she's citing over here the explosion of detransitioners isn't showing up in data yet. So that's just as part of how she's explaining that the science is delayed. We can't sit and wait for the science. It's very nice and convenient to say, let's go and let's wait for the science to come back on that. It's like, yeah, we're playing with people's lives. And as Sparkle said, so let's test the kids. it's just fuck around at the kids. It's fine. No. Okay. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that.
Everybody's taken by the ideology. What I think needs to happen is, it's not exactly what anybody wants to hear, who maybe their first priority in life is trans liberation or trans rights or whatever. But I think trans people need to kind of go dark for a while. And
so this is her solution. Her solution is trans people need to go dark for a while. She's done. But I don't think that means she's going to stop her channel and she's going to stop talking about trans people and whatever. But she means like the trans activism needs to cool itself down. Hello, Lucifer. How are the girls? How are you doing? How are the poochies? Race transitioning? What? You know what? We don't even need to go down that route of how ridiculous that is. Go dark. Oh, I get it. Sorry. Good joke. I just didn't. It just took forever for me to get it. Okay, it's my problem. Okay, so go. Don't trust anyone. Try it. It's cold. Ooh, that's nice. It's a little bit cloudy today, here in Dubai. So I'll pretend that means it's cold. Sitting. What's not sitting? Trans. Because of the ideology, trans people need to go dark for a while. Now that's completely opposed to what Brianna wants to do. Brianna wants to get going because she's now ready to join the fight. She's found it safe enough to come out, and she's joining the ranks. And Blair's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home and grill. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
what I mean by that is no one needs to go into hiding or live like a hermit. People still need to be contributing members of society. And in fact, that looks
okay. So not saying hiding. go into hiding. So that's the thing, Blair, you can see how Blair's brain has had to work. Every time she says something, she knows exactly how somebody's going to try and construe it. So she has to cover bases, and she continues that way. She does it all the time.
It's better on us when we are, and we show that we can be more than trans. However,
not meaning going into hiding, be contributing members. Show we're more than trans. That's part of the whole thing, the whole problem people have with identity politics as well. It's identity politics makes you pick a certain label, and that's the thing that you're supposed to care about the most, and that's the only thing that your personality is based on. And that's one of the things that she is pushing back against. Brianna was asking, oh, is your main goal to protect trans people? And she actually would not admit to that. She wouldn't say that that's the only goal she has, because she's more than just a trans person. Obviously, we know her for this. It's what she's most well known for. But at the same time, she's more than that. That's what makes her likable, because she's a human. She's not just a robot with this label on. You debate as the other side. You got to think about what the other side is going to say, and you respond to them. Absolutely. A lot of that, sometimes that can get in the way of the conversation when you are assuming, you are mind reading what the other person is going to say. So you're busy arguing with yourself the whole way through, and nobody actually gets to talk. I'll do that. But yeah, that has to be in your mindset. I think is just, you do have to think about obviously what the other person. Last night convinced me of the opposite. What? A sort of verbal tick. What's the verbal tick? Identity politics? Yeah, before that debate. Yeah, absolutely. They've got to think about it. I'm not sure I believe Brianna would be Mrs. Science if studies start coming out to say the best thing to do for a kid is affirm their biological gender. Interesting, Rex. She would, I think, you know what? I agree with you there. I think her standard for being convinced would be much higher. She would really need a lot more proof than if it was the other way around. She has a lot more confirmation bias waiting to be activated in this case, I think. Anticipating misunderstandings. So anticipating misunderstandings is like a verbal tick. Just don't. Should you do it or shouldn't you? Yeah, I would say the best thing for kids to affirm biological. Like that's you know what? I'm gonna put that as the poll today. Let's do that. I'm gonna do the poll as should kids be, well, no, would you allow your kid to socially transition? No, yes, it's not permanent. No, not permanent, but damaging. Okay, there we go. It's understandable. They're not sure if you should or shouldn't. Depends on your context all the time. Okay, so show we're more than trans. That's what I'm thinking. That's what shows what happened. I think with integrating gay people into society. It's not like that's the only thing that they were. They're just normal people. In fact, Brad's videos. The guy that we're watching now, one of the titles that he uses is normal gay guy reacts to TikToks or something like that, because he's a normal gay guy. There's a normal that they reclaim your gayness, claim it from reclaim it from the crazies. Do it. Oh, anyway.
the politicization of trans, it's easy to look at, well, now that we have a Trump administration, because these are the emails I'm getting, are
Hold on.
people the politicization, and we show that we can be more than trans. However, the politicization of trans, it's easy to look at, well, now that we have a Trump administration, because these are the emails I'm getting.
Okay, she's talking about the politicization of trans. I don't know how you depoliticize it, other than just not talking about it. This reminds me of what do you call it? Of what V was talking about in one of his latest videos. He was like, "Well, you shouldn't have come after our video games," and that was like his main topic of the thing. And you're like, "Okay, cool. That seems a bit over the top." But what that means is you made everything political. Everything is political now. And now we're in the find out stage of all of that. So, okay. So anyway, we've got the politicization. I don't even. How am I going to spell this? Politicization of trans. That's just the concept. Okay.
Are people saying, well, now it's all messed up because the Trump administration is doing this, and right-wingers are politicizing it? Make no mistake.
Oh, I love this.
It's
I love
not
this.
to play back and forth here. It's just to tell the truth. The politicization of the trans topic came from the left. It's been overwhelmingly at the hands of the left, and the right has started fighting back like in the last 2-3 years.
Okay, so that was, and I'm glad Brianna's nodding, because when Brianna was talking on the Piers Morgan show, that yelling session, basically, I mean, she's been on there a couple times now, but when she was there, that was part of what she was trying to say, is that you guys, it wasn't the right wing that started this, okay? You guys started bringing the crazy. So I'm happy that she's nodding, because that's part of the Chromebook died on you. It's like, you know what? The universe just doesn't want you to watch me, Sparkles. I'm very upset. As long as it's charged for thinkers. Okay. And again, this is that we spoke about the idea of blame yesterday. And the blame game is something that people go, oh, let's not fuck around with whose fault it is and whatever. It's like, you do need to have some sort of understanding of where something came from. Blame isn't in itself a bad thing. Focusing on it forever is a bad thing. But logically, I feel like it's important for us to think about where something came from, the origin of something. So, started by the left. The right began responding in the last 2 years. Okay, yeah, we're here. We're queer. We're coming for your children. Remember that? Yeah.
So what I remember very clearly is being, in 2016, all of a sudden I'm seeing these bathroom bills. These transgender bathroom bills. And I'm looking at a world where I didn't know there was any issues with trans people in bathrooms. I'm a trans person very early in my transition. I have many trans friends, and everybody seems to know how to use the bathroom respectfully, and nobody seems to have an issue with anything. And so I'm like, wow, this is becoming a political football, and bathrooms and public accommodation, like that's been something society and transsexuals have figured out for a long time.
Okay, so she's now mapping out the changes that social changes, basically. So that occurred. I'm going to put it here in this way. It's social aspects that became problematic. Okay, bathroom bills. And now that's the one that's like it's in Congress now or whatever, that they wanted to make it that you have to use this what's it, it's sex-based bathrooms as opposed to gender-based bathrooms. It was I don't know, people went through the world, and if they passed, they came through into the girls' bathroom. A lot of the time, you would go in with your girlfriends, and that's how you go to the bathroom. But now, now we've got the "it is ma'am" kind of people that are taking over bathrooms, and that's the problem. She's right. Trans people went about their business without that sort of problem beforehand. I think that's the least important one. Oh, of course, yeah, the bathroom bill is, but this is a symptom. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's one of the symptoms. Yeah, it's not the most important thing. It's fine. It's something they can deal with. It's just a cherry on top. The medical care is, I think, the most important thing to a trans person. Both of them seem to be quite interested in that. Okay, bathroom bills used to be dealt with. It used to be unproblematic. It wasn't an issue. Okay.
So what's going on in society, and transsexuals have figured out for a long time. So what's going on? Then I'm seeing, the one or two, instances of trans, kids or teenagers in small European countries become every state in the country. You can go get a double mastectomy for a 13-year-old. And people say, no, that's not happening. My own
No,
surgeon,
it's
who's in
happening.
Texas, a deep red state, he had to stop operating on 12-year-old for double mastectomies when there was a new law enacted a few years back. And I didn't know he was operating on 12-year-olds. I would have took my business elsewhere when that happened for me. But,
it's a good admission. She was like, yeah, her surgeon. So somebody can't come after her now and say, your surgeon actually does these surgeries. Like, yeah, well, I would have taken my business elsewhere if I knew. She's covered that base.
it just goes, I didn't know he was operating on 12-year-olds. I would have took my business elsewhere when that happened for me. But, it just goes to show it got out of control so quickly. And so
basically, it's just surgeries as well. Surgeons used well. Only stopped when law was enacted. Okay. I need to take a pill because I am actually getting migraine-y. It's not cool. This is not how this goes. Sorry. Give me a pill, baby. Ow, 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 ow. I can't talk about my laptop, my stabilizers right now. I cut myself again. On the, okay, so the, shit. I'm gonna have blood on my keyboard. So the foil, the tin foil that you have, the foil that you have, what's in the blister packs, for a pill. They're made of foil. Stream is falling apart. I'm falling apart. Wow, that's bleeding a lot. Which is so silly. It's like a tiny little cut. So anyway, I was getting my I was getting my pill. And then I cut myself on the blister pack. And it's bleeding a lot. So hi, Emperor Goodwin. Zach's raid. Oh no, Zach's has to come while I'm Zach's, I've just injured myself. I'm so glad that there's more people here to see me put a plaster on myself. I don't know how to answer the poll. Because you don't have kids or why? Just share a very educational from a very yes. How did it end? Who won? Thank you for the raid, Zax. I don't know why you would bring everybody here. Hello, Sentience. Hello, everybody from the Zax raid. I'm so sorry that this is where you had to come in. I just cut myself, not on purpose. I'm trying to stop the blood. So there you go. Everyone wins in ejection. Not the audience. We lost. Yeah, Ship. Ship was the only one that was participating. Okay, so over on Zach's channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, what's wrong with you? Check, I'm bleeding through the fucking plaster. It's like a paper cut, basically. He does special like. Sorry, guys. Look at it. It's bleeding. Is this hell? Anyway, welcome to the stream. Is anyone a doctor? Yeah. These plasters are shit as well. They got holes in them. They're breathable, but the blood comes through. Is your fingers time of the month? Yeah, I suppose so. My finger's not pregnant, everybody. Okay, we good. So y'all go subscribe to Zach's because he has hilarious streams. Oh my gosh! Still coming through. There is where the blood is. Okay. How to put a plaster on. So to summarize, you got a migraine and then blood started flowing out of your finger. I'm getting migraine-ish. So like lights are becoming a bit weird and strange. Is it bleeding from wagging too much? No. I'm a master. Put a tampon on it. Listen, guys, I'm just putting on pads. There you go. Okay, cool. We good. So, have you voted in the poll? People are upset. Are not. No, not permanent. But okay. So we got 100% people are like don't socially transition. So what we're talking about here is transitioning children, whether that's a thing. Which no, it shouldn't be a thing. Hi, Zax. I just showed your audience my bleeding finger. So thank you for taking the risk of bringing everybody around here. I really appreciate that. This is quite a change of pace. Does the Band-Aid have wings? I wish it would because it was spilling. I had to change it like 3 times. Anyway, so yeah, this is a completely different vibe. Welcome everybody who doesn't know. A lot of the people that usually frequent who that know me from Zax's channel, they've already experienced a debate diagram. Here, what we're doing, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're diagramming a debate, okay? And it's not lost on me that Zax put Blair into the prompts for today's premature ejection. In which case, I did say would smash Blair, absolutely. You need one of those Band-Aids for heavy flow days. Yeah, well. It's not really helping me out. Anyway, so if you look at the poll, we are going to be getting into a certain part of this video where they discuss socially transitioning a child as opposed to giving them puberty blockers and permanently damaging them. So is that okay? Would you be okay with that? That's the question. Have you given up on Brianna Wu for being a grifter yet? No, I haven't given up on her. But I have gotten a little bit more yesterday. By the end of yesterday's stream, Goodwin, I was a bit more disappointed with her. Is that like painting a room? Thanks for drawing the distinction. Yeah, no. Socially transitioning is not about it's not the hormones and whatever. That's what they don't make that distinction in the discussion enough. Look how much discussion they had, and a lot of the time, Brianna Wu will talk about transitioning children, and then only once at some point said it's important not to do anything permanent. She does say that here. She wants better science, so she wants to test the kids, but at the same time, it's like, oh, we shouldn't do anything permanent. So I'm like, I would have had more questions about that, and I don't think we get that much clarity from her. And I want more from her. I want more of a defined statement there. I am absolutely opposed to the latter. Socially, it's not my cup of tea, but at least it's a moderated approach. That's where I'm at, Ronnie. That's where I'm at. I'm like, you know what? I suppose if it works, or I suppose that it's an option. It's something. If that's what's going to happen, I feel like there's going to be consequences for that child anyway. But you know what? There are not permanent consequences in the way that their body is completely fucked up for the rest of their lives. Spider's Nest Diagram. Hello, Congo Chris. Good to see you. Good morning. Jeez. Oh, yeah, it is. It's early for you. Kitty is thirsting for more data. Yes. It's almost like she said one thing for years, then suddenly changed tunes in the last 4 months. Listen, she's allowed to change her mind. She's allowed to change her mind, Goodwin. She is. But you need to, I don't know how to change your mind. It's admit how wrong you were. Spend some time saving your face. There's that whole concept of saving face in a conversation. Spend some time doing that. And she has done a little bit of it, but she has not really properly gone, yeah, look at all the egg on my face. See here? Like, she's got to do that. That's what I would do. Like, admit it. An argument can be made that doing the social thing could lead to the non-social version later on. I'm okay with the non-social version happening to an adult. But at the same time, like you're saying there, Zero Fucks, I suppose you're still putting that child down a path that will eventually lead them to. Sorry, my finger just lost absolute blood circulation. It's got, look at it. It's like a line. Anyway, yes, I agree with you with that on that. I'm kind of worried. What I am worried about is that you're putting them already on this path, so they're going to land up transitioning anyway. I think the best would be to try and just get them to, therapy-wise, get them to accept their bodies and find out who they really are, whether they really are trans or not. I did choke it, and now it's fine. I did choke the finger. Allowed to change their mind only when it's safe to do so, despite claiming she had changed her mind years before, but keeps saying things she claims to have disagreed with for years. Yeah, I think it's important to continue to emphasize what I'm saying about look at the egg on my face, Goodwin, is me saying, yeah, that's how long I was a coward for. That kind of takes the sting out of it. For me, it feels like that helps you build trust, that you are properly noticing that you are wrong. You're acknowledging you're wrong. It'll help me to, I don't need you to be a martyr and to kill yourself or whatever, but I do need you to try to put a bit more effort into it. Of course, when you're allowed to change your mind, to completely walk back your entire political stance on something when the tides of change come rumbling is either a hell of a coincidence or disingenuous. Look, I don't. I would like people to feel like they can change their minds. I guess it's important to you want to see whether somebody's changing of their mind is genuine or not. I mean, for people like Amala, she was a proper leftist. She's got a Black Lives Matter tattoo and all of that. But I guess she changed. The thing is that she changed sides before it was cool, I suppose, is what your criticism is here. I don't know. I have to think a bit more about how to word that, which is why I want to get into scripted videos so that I can actually think about the words I'm saying a lot better than stream mind. Stream talk is not the best talk. Wasn't there a study of, hey snakes, 193 10-year-olds who thought they were trans, and 87% of them ended up realizing they were just gay by the age of 18? Well, yes, this is the thing. This kind of thing is cited by Brianna. And I'm like, can we focus on that? You really need to talk about that. She brings that up. She brings up that most of the people, what's the name? Most of the homosexual, she uses HSTS, whatever. It's like just say the word. Don't be all look, I know the jargon, look at me. People change their minds. I used to hate Trump, then I saw that Dems did what Dems did to Bernie and all the lies, and Fauci ouchie got exposed and left become insane. No Trump smart dude. Yeah, but now Congo, see what Goodwin is talking about here is that you see that this person, Brianna, she changed after the second Trump win only. You had, I don't know, you saw certain things happen and you changed your mind. Same thing for me. I was basically TDS. Then I noticed, wait a second, people are talking so much shit. Politeness aside, it's true that there are two guys, right? Yes, there are. Nobody likes a fair weather friend. I guess that's another way to say it. Emperor Goodwin's thing. Oh, look, a tomboy. Give him hormones. Yeah. Save the tomboy, save the gays.
I think the best thing for trans people, if trans people want to figure out a way forward, is to really just, whatever is going to come in this Trump administration, I think, again, no one wants to hear it. The trans world needs to be a little bit humble and be like, honestly, we kind of deserve whatever happens. Not violence, not any, not any constitutional, violations, nothing that is actually dehumanizing, but maybe a recalibration of what we consider to be a violation of trans rights. Because I'm saying, activists.
Okay, so she's saying with the Trump administration, should humble the. See how she has to go and caveat it. It's like, of course, she doesn't mean that violence is okay. She has to go and make sure that she pays the toll, to say, I don't mean that violence is like, duh, we know this, but okay, we have to say it because we know what your opponents are like. Trump administration should humble the trans community, not violence. Restriction. Did she say restrictions?
Right now, what violations, nothing that is actually dehumanizing, but maybe.
I've also recently found Brad. I love how he calls himself a normal gay.
Be a recalibration of what we consider to be a violation of trans rights, because I'm seeing, activists right now screaming about.
Did you lie about how good the Dems were and Trump was bad for years before suddenly changing your tune after he was reelected? That's not what he did, I don't think, Congo. So this is what we were debating, Congo, with Goodwin is saying, listen, Brianna is a grifter. She was disingenuous. She's disingenuous with this change of heart because she was completely one way and now she's the other, now that it's safer. Shout out to the normal gays, yes. I'm opposed to trans rights. Okay, well, this is a great thing. Sentient. One of the things that she does talk about is what people hear, what people think of when they hear trans rights, because that's exactly it. You have all the protections of a normal citizen. That's how life works for you, how it should work in the USA. But there is this fear mongering of like, you are going to be in a freaking internment camp just now. Josh is super based gay. Oh, okay. So the normal gays are lame. We need a super based gay. Okay. No, she said she changed her mind years previously, but only spoke about in the last 4 months. Yeah, that's the problem, is that she's. I think it's quite an admission. I think to be able to say that you change, but I guess on the other hand, that's your criticism. That it's like, rather say that you just changed your mind, that's what you believed before. You actually have more of a problem with her having changed her mind and said nothing. That's it. It's disingenuous. That's the whole point. If you did change your mind, why did you keep quiet? She backdated her mind change. Exactly, Sneem. That's exactly it. Okay.
Trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are human rights.
And there it is. Okay, so hold on. Trump's administration should humble trans community. I'm gonna go back. This is another golden moment for Blair.
Copyright, constitutional, violations. Nothing that is actually dehumanizing, but maybe a recalibration.
Not violence. Nothing dehumanizing, but of what it means to violate. Okay, I think this is a great topic that she does. This is the topic that I have brought up. It's trans rights, right? She goes, I changed my mind, but lied for years, then suddenly felt safe to say what I allegedly believe in the last 4 months. Maybe I would prefer, but this is what Amala is like. This is what I believed then, and now I believe this. And that's it. She changed her mind, and that's her changing her mind and saying so. I think in this position, if you really did change your mind 4 years ago and didn't speak about it, explain what was so horrible. Maybe put on your victim hat and tell me why you were so scared. And tell me what a hypocrite you are. Tell me that. That's the saving face mechanism I want. That's not what she said. Yeah, that's not what she said. No. She said she agreed with Blair for years, and then she did say she was a coward, but I need more of that. I actually do need more of the self-flagellation there. She did say it once, but it's like it's a big enough deal that it's like, no, you need to be making like an I was wrong video and all of that, I'm against it, for the record. What's this? Oh, snakes. What are we talking about? Sorry. I've seen TikTok video of a gay Jew saying that Trump is going to make concentration camps for the gays. Yeah, that is apparently what people are thinking. I'm against it, for the record. Okay. I should say, yeah, I think most people are against concentration camps. It goes without saying.
Of what we consider to be a violation of trans rights, because I'm seeing, activists right now screaming about trans rights are human rights, trans rights are human rights, and they think by copying and paste it 7 times in a tweet that means something. But what they mean by that is trans rights equals the right to sterilize children. Trans rights.
Okay, so trans rights used to be just be a trans person and live your life. Now, like literally, I was saying yesterday when I put in hashtag trans rights are human rights into my description, I was like, oh, that's actually going to attract the wrong people, because that message is that message has been hijacked by these people that want this other kind of right instead of just, I agree with the old school trans rights. A person has human rights. But this is what it's become. Okay, in current day has changed. This is what it means. It means right to sterilize children. And that's emotive language or whatever. No, it is the truth. It's the truth. It's the final destination that happens when you are transitioning medically a child. You're sterilizing. You're asking for the right to sterilize a child. Brianna's argument a little bit there is, oh well, they weren't going to have children anyway, and they can adopt. It's not a good enough reason for me. You're a child. You don't make that decision as a child. The activists always ruin things, yes. Have you ever made standalones videos breaking down these charts? It's hard to absorb this information in a stream. That is the plan, is to make standalone scripted videos with the chart, so that I summarize with. So the live stream is just so you guys can hang out with me while I do it and we can discuss and have our own conversations. And then the video, which I have been doing this for more than a year and I still haven't done a proper post thing video. Usually it's like, usually in the past, what I've done is maybe clipped a little bit of things from the stream, but now I'm working on having a proper scripted video for that. So look out for it. If you like, subscribe. Otherwise, it's fine. The people that have subscribed will get that. I'm sick of people calling their wants and needs rights. Oh, you know what, Congo? Look, when I put this in topics, rights, I put rights and needs here together. Do you see that? So you know exactly, that's exactly what I'm on. You might need healthcare. That doesn't make it your right to free labor of a surgeon. You said this the other day on Gareth's show. I saw that and I was like, exactly. Okay. Okay.
Rights equals the right to destroy women's sports. Trans
right to destroy women's sports.
rights equals the right to walk into a woman's bathroom or changing room with a beard and a 7-inch penis.
She likes doing that. She likes mentioning that. Walk in woman, right to walk into a woman's beard and penis. Like your penis is too big to be allowed in this bathroom. Leave, please. Would you notice the beard if the yeah? I don't think I'd notice the beard if this wiener is hanging and flapping around.
This is not anything to do with human rights. This is not social integration. This is social domination. And
I think that look, I know it's a very buzzwordy phrase that she did, but I think it's quite a good one. I think it's quite a good thing that she said. This is. Hey, Dualies, how's it? Congo, the Hold My DualShock is half South African. So go and subscribe over there. Support your South Africans, because seeing as the Americans have withdrawn all their aid. Okay. This is what? This is not social integration. It's social domination. Woo! I'm okay with that. No, it's not. It's not. It's the white part. Thank you. Oh, you guys.
And so until the community can let go of that, I don't think anybody's going to have any respect for anything that they ask for. And, it sucks.
Yes, I know they are pushing for expropriation in SA, and Trump had some basic things to say about it. And AfriForum is over there, or talking to them, and people were giving Elon Musk some shit for giving people shit about the race-based laws in South Africa, and yeah, fun times. Property rights are a big deal. Let's not get rid of those. South Africa could be the 53rd state. You know what? I've always wanted to be American, so let's do it. Tomboy erasure. The tomboy erasure is happening definitely at a higher rate, and also gay erasure is happening. The gay people are being trounced as if that's a great existence for them, as opposed to just being a normal gay person. Bring back the normal gay. Okay, where are we at? Let's make sure that this is all Blair. I really like this. This little. Put that on a t-shirt. This is not social integration; it's social domination. Woo.
Because I don't want to see anything further happening. You know, we can get into the areas of the new changes in the Trump admin about like passports and stuff like that. And that those are examples that we can probably maybe find some more agreement on, Brianna. But as far as, you know, kids and transitioning, I think this is just a battle the trans community needs to admit that they lost. They've been wrong about it every step of the way. Nobody's going to trust the community, even the brightest among us, for which there's not a lot of great public trans people. So the brightest among us is not actually like, I don't consider myself to be the brightest among us. I think I'm.
Yeah, Brianna like does a bit of glazing here. She's like, oh really? Yeah.
But anyways, I think
you were right really early on when no one else was.
Okay, so there you go. I hope she says including me now.
So I think
right, but I'm also not that academic.
See, so what she's done here is instead of gone more like, look at the egg on my face, egg, she's gone, you're amazing, Blair. Oh my god. No, bring it back to you and how you were wrong.
Academic face that I feel
when no one else was. So I think
right, but I'm also not that academic face that I feel like the community does actually need, right?
Do you think
she thinks that does the trans community need an academic space? Let the dude speak. Dildo, don't be a dick. Okay, there's not we're at, what do I need to even put in from the integration? Total domination. It's she brings up the passport thing. I think it's just a lot of wishy-washy.
I think academic? I think that's
I don't
the problem.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the point is, I think that we kind of just need to take whatever comes and understand that it's a bit deserved in this next administration to a certain extent, obviously.
Yeah.
So
a
couple points about the executive order specifically that I want to talk to you specifically about, Blair, because I think we might have a disagreement here. One of the things the order does.
Dildo isn't an actual dick though. So I'm not understanding this. But I guess if we just go semiotics, it makes sense. Not social integration. I like that. Thank you. Good one. I'll put that in here. I think I do need to notice or note the glazing. So she says you were right when everyone else wasn't. I'll put my note in there that opportunity to say right. Hey, come. Oh, the shortcut doesn't work on here. Damn it. Is this it? I want a insert call out. There we go. Opportunity to say she herself was wrong. And I will make you yellow. Okay.
Is it calls for the creation of a private right of action, basically the ability to sue doctors that provided gender care for minors, and not
Chuck Tingle. Yes, it's a Chuck Tingle reference. Right, so that was their advancement to respond. Then also possible disagreements on Trump's. Actually, sorry, just while I'm here, is it what comes from the Trump administration is somewhat deserved. That's basically what she's trying to say over there. Chuck Tingle as our greatest modern literary what? Ugh. Considering what the smut that I'm okay with, I don't think I'll be able to continue reading like normal, like actually that level of smut. That's I can't do it. It's not. Anyway. Chuck Tingle the goat. Okay, possible disagreements on Trump's executive order allows we're practicing. Not just medical. Okay, I'm in agreement with this. Yeah, it's not a good thing. You if these doctors are somewhat covered by they were applying standards, I think what you could do is you could sue the people that made these standards in the first place. Can't we go after that?
Sue them for malpractice, provided right of action, basically the ability to sue doctors that provided gender care for minors, and not sue them for malpractice. Would you?
We're practicing, so practicing gender affirming care. Not for medical, but for practice at all. I'm back. What did I miss? We just spoke a bit more about Brianna Wu being a grifter, basically, and Blair is Blair has been just saying that what is happening with the Trump administration is kind of deserved for the trans people at the moment.
You can currently do if they didn't follow the rules, or like you're talking about the kids.
So class actions against the institutions. That's what I would think.
Who are changing their pronouns every day and still getting HRT, that obviously went against guidelines. Who are changing their pronouns every day and still getting HRT, that obviously went against guidelines. And so those people can be sued for malpractice. But there's something disturbing to me about the idea of being able to go back and retroactively sue doctors and potentially ruin them or make their malpractice insurance skyrocket, over something they did that when they did it, they earnestly thought it was in the best interest of the patient. Now, they may have been wrong. I think it would be the position that I would hold and you would hold. And it also was what the authorities were telling them to do. The American
Yeah. So what I'm saying and what Congo is saying there is go after the authorities then. So I disagree with Trump as that being a solution. Maybe because the doctors get sued, then the doctors will then defer and say, hey, it was the institutions. They gave me these guidelines. Go and speak to them. So.
American Academy of Pediatrics, the Endocrine Society, all these major medical institutions.
Medical institutions, right? Gave these guidelines. I don't think it needs to be all or nothing.
Now, they had been ideologically captured, we now know. But what doctors do is they look to these organizations for, okay, well, what's the standard treatment? And what Republicans are...
Sneem, there's no way they had enough data to say it's fine. Someone was playing fast and loose. Well, there you go. Go for that. Go for those people. Prove they were ideologically captured. That's what I'm saying. So prove these guys. Sorry, I guess I'll put it as commentary. Prove these guys were ideologically and they're to blame. See, this is where it's like, oh, let's not play the blame game. No. The blame game is very important. Let's play it here. Hey, David. Are you ready? Guys, if you are around tomorrow morning, because most of you guys, it's night time now for you, we will be doing a Think with David Puff as our featured thinker. But it's not even like just a certain topic, whatever. This is a story that we're going to be talking to David Puff about. We did a true crime think last week, and now we're kind of continuing with that with a specific true crime. With featuring David Puff. He's very kindly agreed to join us to join a scum at the bottom. He is mostly going to be. So yeah, I'm very excited. Do I have to think? Yes, you do. You do have to do all the thinking. It's Thursday Thunk Day. Yes, Congo, don't miss it. Do you like true crime, Congo? I don't know if you like true crime. Anyone? David Puff is a serial killer. Sparkles. Keep that in mind and come to the think later on. Okay, it'll be for the South Africans. What's the name? Yeah, for the South Africans, it'll be at 6 o'clock. For the USA people, it'll be somewhere in the morning. USA is too big, but yeah, I prefer false crime. Nice, Ronnie. It's always the handsome ones. Yeah, I mean, look at him. Look at that face. Yeah. So yeah, don't miss out on that tonight, guys. And also for those Zax people, just adding some social pressure there. I'm trying to get Zax on as a featured thinker as well. I think what we're going to do is get into a rhythm of having featured thinkers every second week. So trying to get Zax on as a featured thinker as well. So what do you think Zax should think about when he comes on Thinkers, right? And I already said comes on Thinkers. I'm not very pretty in the morning. Oh, come on. It's 1 a.m. for me right now. Also, I'm pretty drank. That's okay, Snakes. Yeah, that was a good one, Rex. Version. Anyway, whatever. Okay, let's continue where we're at. Guys, we have to finish this. Zax a thinker. Your channel going downhill, Kitty. Come on. Zax can do a think. We can do like pop culture think. I don't know, whatever. It's 4 p.m. here. Okay, well, everybody, let's continue.
proposing in this executive order, it would have to be passed by Congress, is that you
Prove that they're to blame. Zach says he can think, guys. So there. So just adding some social pressure that and Zax would have to wake up at an ungodly hour as well to be. But you know what? I'll do that a little. We can talk about boobs. You know what? I will talk about boobs for 4 hours. Bring it on. What kind of boobs? Oh my god, I could totally make a structured think on boobs. Let's go. Challenge accepted. Okay. Yeah, prove it, Zax. Exactly. Ideologically captured and they're to blame. Cool, let's continue.
could sue doctors for doing what was legal and the proper in terms of what the authorities said to do at the time. That to me seems pretty unfair and kind of potentially pretty harmful to a lot of doctors who are doing their best. But I know you're much more, Blair, skeptical of the medical field than I am.
I am. And that's almost like a virtue of getting older too. I'm almost at a point in my life where I'm like, I don't know. The doctor said not to get sunlight during COVID. So like, what's really a doctor? What's the good of doctors? But I do
Hey, I'm her baby mom. What? She's my baby mama. She can make one on mine. Wink, wink. Yeah. How the kittens? Name 5 boobs. Literally, Sparkles has 2. I have 2, and then Blair has 2. So that's 6 boobs I've named. Do fake boobs float? There's all these questions. Yeah, there's all these questions that we can revisit. I remember what was it? Mansers. Do you remember the show Mansers? One of them was about if you can grow boobs from drinking beer. That's why I almost made the goal for the stream, like the celebration for reaching the goal would be drinking a beer on stream, literally because of that idea. Okay, where are we at? Prove gear, medical institutions get this part. So, what are we asking? That's unfair. You because you want what you don't have. Yes, that's exactly how wanting things works. Inviting. That only works for man boobs. Oh, okay. Thanks, Dildo. Total Recall has 3. Guys, I need to stop reading chat. Never gonna finish this thing. Quite unfair inviting Blair to comment. Medical.
actually not to getting older too.
I am, Blair, skeptical of the medical field than I am.
I am. And that's almost like a virtue of getting older too. I'm almost at a point in my life where I'm like, I don't know. The doctor said not to get sunlight during COVID. So like, what's really a doctor? What's the good of doctors? But I do actually agree with you. You were wrong. We're not going to have much disagreement on this era that if it was legal at the time, I don't think you can retroactively go back, or you shouldn't be able to retroactively go back and do that. And so I actually expect that won't be something that's actually passed, because I think that's just messy and that's not going to work out. And if it does work out, I'm going to disagree with it. I just am. But I think that, as far as going forward, if these trans sanctuary states still feel like they have the right to castrate underage people or provide this treatment, and they think that they just are providing that safe space, I guess, that safe haven for it, then they do need to be prosecuted. And so I would agree with that.
Okay, so the safe haven sanctuary gender affirming sanctuary states do deserve to be sued. Okay. It's not safe for the kids, absolutely not. But that's the whole debate. Well, I don't know. It's not really. Look, the fact is, Brianna still thinks that you could do some sort of transition for children, which I'm just
Well, and what
Um,
about the trans activists trying to send them hormones illegally via
Oh
social
my God. You know how I feel, Brad.
I do know how you feel about that.
Brad made a video about that. That's why she says, you know how you feel. How you feels about that. I guess conversation wise, what that is mentioning something that they all agree on, which makes them in group. They go, look at us. We agree with each other. This is the in group. Look at us. Look at us. So it's like a big. I guess it's a circle joke, where it's like he brings up sue the people that are selling or giving to children illegally. All agree. When did Brad transition? Okay. Brad is just normal gay.
Yeah, Brianna, are there any other parts of the executive order that give you pause beyond just the policies we've touched on so far?
Well, I hope we can come back and I can respond.
Okay, so now we can go into the Trump's executive order, details of Trump's executive order, which actually we fell into anyway. I'm actually going to move the stuff here because it's upsetting me. Go here, copy style, make it a... Nico isn't here. I've actually provided the link and Nico is not even watching. Arsehole. This is where Nico would appear if he was watching me live diagram it, but I suppose he's like, I don't know, got a life or something. Ugh. Okay, here we go. Let's do that. Let's move you here. Go into here. Okay, I suppose it's one. In. There you go. No, you freaking moron. The dragging is not working. Ha! Get it? No. Okay. Okay, all agree. Cool, cool. Brianna. There's so much plastic on screen right now. Listen, you have to have the plastic happen. They had to feminize their faces. But then again, like we said earlier, Sparkles, leave the lips alone. Like, actually, this time, now that we've spoken about it, I just can't stop looking at her lips. And it's like, could we focus on her ideas, please? But it is hard when you've got these. Like, I mean, stop it. Leave them alone. Leave them alone, Blair, please. Please. Okay. They're beautiful. They were beautiful like years ago. They were the right size years ago. Leave them alone. I'm trying. Yeah. Are the same ham radio headsets you wear to broadcast his Zaxa streams? No, usually I'm wearing my Steel Series, but my Steel Series have become a little bit unruly. She looks like an Egyptian hieroglyph painting. I don't think... Look, with the eyes, yes, I get that that's the joke. But the lips... How gay is the guy in the middle? He's normal gay, so I don't know what that means. It's like a baboon's ass on her face. Oof. Yeah.
On to some of the stuff that Blair said, but
Invites Brianna to invites Brianna to comment on executive order.
Touched on so far.
Well, I hope we can come back and I can respond to some of the stuff that Blair said. But I think that the biggest thing is, Blair, I would love to know this. Like, do you not, and this is just getting real with you, like, I'm in my 40s. Do you not still have the lingering effects of growing up and feeling so much shame about who you are?
So this is her main argument. This is what she wants. This is why she wants to transition certain children, at least. So her solution has been, it's only a certain way smaller cohort, 90% smaller cohort of children that she would be okay with transitioning. So it'll be fewer, which makes it better. Yes, better, but still not great, okay, in my opinion. Those children can be transitioned because they are sidestepping trauma. That's what they're doing. But I would like her to clarify here, which she does not seem to clarify, that it's just she's against puberty blockers completely. That's what I would like to hear from her. I can have a little bit more of a conversation about socially transitioning because it's more moderate, as Ronnie said earlier.
Who you were as a child. Like, I'm still, I understand.
So she doesn't answer the question about the executive order. She goes and she talks about shame.
And how who you were of growing up and feeling not still have the lingering effects of growing up and feeling so much shame.
Lingering effects of so she's thinking you can fix that with transition as a child. My argument is you're going to have that anyway. And as a trans kid, even socially transitioning is not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be. It's going to damage you as well, especially if you grow out of it. What do you do? How do you? Why you? I guess we should have this social transition discussion. I really hope that they can have the social transitioning discussion, Brianna and Blair. They should talk about that because they can talk about what experiences they could and couldn't have had. And I don't know, just putting even social transitioning is making a sunken cost happen. There's going to be more and more and more. You've put so much into changing to socially transitioning that it already puts you down that path of transitioning anyway, and the whole social contagion still occurs. So I feel like I'm landing on no, don't socially transition. Just I think that's what I'm sitting on. To remove shame, you would have to remove the stigma of being trans, which would mean completely transforming society. Exactly, Clipper. It's that's kind of what they want, which is like it cannot happen because we are sexually dimorphic. That cannot happen. You can't have us as humans, society, the way we work, without sex being underlying everything. Sex underlies. I was trying to explain that in my gender studies course. I tried to do it in an essay where I was basically just trying to say it still does eventually come back to just us being a dimorphic species. What do you want? And like our genders, you can evolutionarily figure out what's more female and what's more male. And I don't know how we get past that. There's no way we can get past boys have a penis and girls have a vagina. We can't get past that. trans kids increased by 2,000%. Jeez. I suppose having a they/them child is no. It's still not no. It's better than having a completely castrated, sterilized child. I suppose. I guess. That's the only thing that I can give that method. Okay, lingering effects of growing up so much shame and guilt. So this is her approach to Blair. Like, oh well, I'm trying to take this away from the children. That's the thing.
About who you are, who you were as a child. Like I'm still, I understand how it led to maladaptive behaviors that I have to pause and think through. And I think what feels like the one instructing teachers that they can't call children that are socially transitioning by a name they want. Like,
okay, so she does bring this in. So lingering effects of social shame and guilt, ? Does Blair have that? And that's where I'm like, Blair is one of the brightest of the trans people, because she seems to have integrated into her whole psychology that she is a different kind of being, that she is, yes, you say she when you talk about her, but she can look at her parts and be okay with that. That seems to be like the best outcome you could have for a trans person. That they look at their body and they're like, well, this is me. This is who I am. That seems like the best treatment you could have. Okay, the best outcome of a transition. And then maybe just not having the transition. I don't know. And being gay. Okay, lingering to comment on the executive order. So she brings up the executive order here. Parental rights issue. Okay, so the EO makes it schools can't use a child socially transition. In the future, we'll all be born hermaphrodites. You know what? Why not? Because then it's like, then everybody is equal, right? Oh yes, there is no reason to discuss this. Remember, Neil deGrasse Tyson, science guy. He's already decided everything. Okay, makes it so that the schools can't support a child socially transitioning, can't use their preferred name. I love what Blair says in response to this, but okay.
Like, I think this is a parental rights issue. Like, let's say.
So that was a part of the clip in the beginning. So the parental rights issue. You know, Brianna is speaking so much like a politician. This is the parental rights issue. Okay, cool. Let's have a conversation about it. Like you put the label on it. I mean, Blair has used what's her name, basically slogans, but she also just speaks like a normal human. So
say we compromise on what you're saying and we say medical transition, we want to wait until you're 18.
So she says we compromise on what you're saying. So I do think that she is still okay with giving certain children hormones. It does seem like she was not. Let's listen to this.
To what you're saying. This is a parental rights issue. Like, let's say we compromise on what you're saying. And we say medical transition, we want to wait until you're 18 to do that.
She doesn't say, I agree, we can like, that's what I'm finding wanting here from Brianna. I'm like, you're saying it's still possible. She's like, oh, it shouldn't be an all or nothing. I'm like, no, when it comes to children, it absolutely has to be. Who oh wait, Brianna's actually full of Emperor. You stuck around long enough for me to feel that way. So anyway, parental rights issue, and this is my biggest disappointment from Brianna. It's like, you're almost there, but you're still thinking, no. I think she's just got wishful thinking, that she thinks that that these children are still going to have a much better life if they go through transitioning early. It's not going to happen. And you don't find that out by giving them hormones. Okay. Parental rights issue. If we compromised, say so she goes into a hypothetical. Somebody's making lunch, or no, breakfast. Smells really good. Okay, compromise. And I will put a note here then that so Brianna isn't completely medical. Hypothetical compromise. Wait until 18. Social transition.
But we say medical transition, we want to wait until you're 18 to do that. But I think like socially transitioning, that I understand is not innocuous, but I don't think like for a classical transsexual, that doesn't seem particularly problematic to me.
So socially transitioning. She agrees it's not innocuous, but for classical transsexuals, so basically she's saying just the real transsexual people. Classical transsexual Rex, what she's talking about with classical transsexual is literally somebody who is a real transsexual, who is not just confused. But the principle here is you don't know until after puberty. That's what a medical diagnosis could be, is that it persists past puberty. That could be a criteria. I don't think you can tell before. Sorry, you just can't. Me, I'm a classical transsexual. Yeah, sure. Social transitioning is not, but classical for transsexual. So she's basically she's like, for people like me, it would have been better. Therefore, I want other kids to be able to do that. It would be beneficial, basically. Let's see how she words it. Doesn't seem particularly harmful, problematic. It doesn't. Okay, so here is where my script needs to go and talk about it, why I think it's harmful. Oh yes, snakes. They have not snakes. Okay. Oh no, Kitty, you pause puberty because that's how it works. They haven't discussed that. They don't bring that up in this whole thing. They don't talk about whether this pause button thing is a thing, whether they believe that or not. And I know that Blair doesn't, obviously, because Blair's just even common sense just says no, that's not how that works. But they don't discuss this whole wait until, and again, like the fact is that puberty has to happen for the decision to be made. Puberty has to happen for, like, you can't pause it and then the puberty itself is the test, in my opinion. Your brain needs to develop. But yeah, I know that Brianna believes in it. Yeah, Brianna thinks that Brianna. She says, "Oh no, the science said this, and I believe them, but now I don't believe them anymore." She did change her mind. okay, isn't innocuous or classical for classical transsexuals. So it's like that's why she brought this lingering effects of the shame, because she is very hung up on this fact that being able to socially transition would have helped her not have that shame. And another thing that I'm saying is you would have that shame anyway, because you're still sexually dimorphic. You're still gonna have a penis where all the rest of your friends have vaginas. Okay, you're not gonna have a period because you don't have a uterus. Okay, if you were born all weird and messed up, intersex, you would also have that trauma that you would have to go through. So socially transitioning is a band-aid maybe, and it's probably, it's not as risky. While it's not as risky as puberty blockers, I would say it's bad. So
If you're telling a parent they don't have the right to decide their own child's health care or what parts of their identity they're going to.
Okay, I'm wondering here. She's talking about parental rights. This kid is getting a bit moral relativism to me, because if my parents decided that I, at the age of 12, was okay to be married off to someone, they make it okay. Like there's certain things that we where the government does get involved with parental rights, because there's a balance that has to happen. We do have to stop people from abusing their children because they're my children, I can do what I want with them. That's what I want to ask. For pushing children's transition, wasn't Brianna calling the trans man on Piers Morgan a psycho? So Creamage, I think she did do that. That was in that case. She's got a more nuanced version of, there's certain kids that are okay to transition, not most of them, not the ones that. So she's like, we just need to refine our search and we'll be fine. Whereas everyone else with common sense is like, no, never. Okay, so social transition, you can't be.
To affirm, and you've got the government overriding that. That, like, for me as a liberal, but for
Government. I am moving my limbs. I'm always moving my limbs. I've got restless leg syndrome. Stream elements. Government over. That is why sometimes I seem to be bouncing, because I'm always moving my legs. Transitioning kids medically or socially is wrong, in my opinion. I think I'm on that as well. In the beginning of the stream or whatever, I was like considering socially is okay. I'll take that socially is better than medically, but they're both harmful. I wouldn't want that to happen. And I'll explain that in my video. Government overreach, over in deciding whether parents. Hello, Lucy Leberg. Hello. Transition. Is there anyone who thinks socially transitioning? Somebody said yes, it's not permanent. Was somebody just playing around? Just to be, we've got no, not permanent, but damaging. So we've got mostly people are saying 90% no to social transition. Okay, overreach is deciding whether parents affirm their child's gender. So now she's appealing to Blair's conservative thing, and a conservative, obviously, by definition, is trying to have the least government involvement.
For you as a conservative, that seems way over the line. And I'm curious, are you with me on that?
Well, as far as, children or parents not being able to decide certain, make certain medical decisions for their children, there's
Not
plenty of
medical,
areas.
social.
See, that's oh shit, there's a mic. What did I do to my microphone? Ship has shown us a super sticker, which StreamYards, get your shit together. We need to start seeing them. Okay, basically it's a microphone. Thank you for the super sticker there, Big Ship. Really appreciate it. Is that there's something wrong with your mic or mic drop or anyway? I appreciate it. Thank you. Not even a vasectomy is always reversible. Yeah, we spoke yesterday about sterilization procedures and how those are hardly ever allowed. It's become a little bit better, but you just want to see more terrible drawings. Look, that isn't the agreed upon reward for today, but or celebration for today. But I had a lot of fun yesterday, and I think if we this time if I make sure that there are references for each one, I'll be good. It'll be good. So anyway, yesterday the goal for reaching the goal, I had to do 3 drawing prompts, and one of them was Blair White as a transformer robot. It wasn't pretty. No. Anyway, government overreach in deciding whether parents phone their child. This is now her response.
Names, pronouns, what you're trying to
Okay,
communicate.
yeah. I mean, as
how
far
they
as
dress.
names,
Yeah.
I mean, you can, kind of use another phrase and call it a nickname. I think that there is an expectation that like names are okay, but I think that unfortunately what you have, and I know that you know this because I've seen you kind of make this statement too, and I think you feel where I'm coming from as far as like elections do have consequences, social backlash has consequences, and unfortunately the public school system has used and abused the trust of parents while we're
Yeah.
on the topic of parents' rights.
Yeah.
You have school system.
Yes, guys. David is going to talk about a murderer I knew. He knew. I am dying to talk about this. It's insane to me, actually, just looking into it into detail. But yeah, come back for the thinkers later on. Oh yes, David. Well, I guess I'll use your Twitter profile. I will have to miss it. No, but you know what? Luckily, it's recorded, so you won't have to miss it. It's just that you'll have to hope that we ask the questions. Actually, if there are questions that you want to ask, just let me know and make sure that I've got them. David, snitches get stitches, bro. This man snitched on himself. Sentient. This man snitched on himself properly. Fuck. Okay. She basically what she is saying here is like the they have the trans people can have to accept activists abused the trust of the public school system. Like knowing about that garage, David, it's making me. I don't know how I'm going to speak to you. I don't know how I'm going to just not go the whole time because anyway. Self-snitched, is he a rapper? Bruce Rivers, he's a criminal lawyer. I suppose you know that's the song. Trans experts abuse the trust of the public school system. You guys have not helped me stay on track at all. I'm supposed to finish this today.
Some public schools that are quite literally, and this literally sounds like some satanic panic from the like 80s, 90s,
Ship. Yesterday I finished it 4 hours anyway.
things, and this literally sounds like
Yeah.
you have school systems, public schools that are quite literally, and this literally sounds like some satanic panic from the like 80s, 90s.
Oh, I can turn off the not off the comments, but I can put them away. There we go. Aha.
thing to say, but it sounds like some school systems, public schools that are quite literally, and this literally sounds like some satanic panic from the like 80s, 90s, thing to say, but it became the objective truth. You have schools trying to make children gay, trying to make children trans. This is something that objectively started happening when you're teaching queer theory, when you're making children choose their pronouns. This is, I just think I don't have it in me to even care that much about, if a school can't call someone named Tim, Ashley or something. Like there's just so
Don't have it in me. Don't. If a school. Okay. So she much like the what's her name, medical, the distrust in medical medicine or in the medicine, she's distrusting them in schools themselves. Okay, they're in school. I just don't have it in me. I don't care.
So much more consequential stuff happening in the trans world.
And she goes, really? It's like, yes. She's actually like more consequential stuff, as in don't transition the kids. So they don't actually. We just get a disagree face basically from Brianna here. More consequential things are happening. So I think what she means here is she's referring to detransitioners, etc. So here she goes, disagree face.
Really?
I think
there she goes, really? So like this is the most consequential thing for Brianna, is that these children are being dead named, I suppose, at school. Whereas Blair is like, you caused this shit by having drag queen story hour. Thank you, Creamage. Not gonna lie. No, someone needs to tell Blair to chill on the cosmetic surgery and Botox before she looks like the Elephant Man. Exactly. Sparkles and I were having this conversation. We're like, no, none of that. Too late for that. Like, I don't think she looks like the Elephant Man, but it's just maybe also I hope that this is just from her lips being freshly done, because that seems to happen. She needed that BBL. She got a cute little bun. Okay, anyway.
I mean, yeah. I also don't necessarily know how I feel about, social transition for minors. I think that until a child is, able to make decisions for themselves, able to live on their own, I think that it's every parent's duty to raise their children to try to be the best version of the gender that they were born as.
Say the sex, not the gender. But so she's not sure, not in agreement about social transitioning. I will say she doesn't know. Doesn't know. She doesn't know about it, so like basically the duty of the parents to raise the best the child gender they were born as. So I think that means you can let your sons be feminine, okay? If that's how they're going to be. You don't have to beat the gay out of them, but you also don't need to make them into women either. Okay? Save the gays, save the tomboys.
It's a parent's duty to raise a young boy to be a good man and a young girl to be a good woman. And I think that there's enough people who are showing, up all over social media in the news that are detransitioning that wish that would have happened for them. There's enough gay people who.
So yeah, so she's saying detransitioning shows this would have been better. So Brianna brings up the trauma of not fitting in as a child, and that's the reason that you would want to socially transition. My thing is there's trauma in that anyway, and hers is there's trauma in socially transitioning, and then there's too much risk. There's too much risk. Detransitioning is too much of a risk.
Proclaim how they're so thankful that their parents did that for them and didn't.
Technically, if I was in America, some of the things that I said as a kid, I would have been tranced the fuck out instead of just a tomboy. I would be absolutely yeeted into the system. You got weird. Balance your stabilizers. You're the only one that gives a crap about my freaking space bar.
Transition them, that I don't really know how I feel about social transition. As far as, if I still feel any effects from, I think you phrase it as like shame from being a child. I think that's a universal experience for all people. I think all people, have a sort of nostalgic way of looking at their childhoods, but most of us, had to survive some traumas in our childhood. When we're young, we're vulnerable humans. We're weak. We're naive to the world. And if you make it to adulthood without enduring some sort of trauma, you're like a 1%. You're a 1%er. And I think that for me, I actually would never take back any sort of pain I felt, of the sort of misalignment that we often describe with gender dysphoria as a child. I wouldn't take back any of the bullying I incurred. And people can take that as me saying that I support bullying, and that's not the case, because if I ever have kids and I find out you're bullying my kids, it's going to be a wrap for you. But
this is what makes me say that Blair is she seems to really be, look, obviously it's whatever you say, it's what she's putting out to the world. Who knows internally what she feels like, but it seems like this is quite a healthy response to have, that I can't, you can't sit there and say, I wish it was different for me as a child. It's like, no, whatever the hell I went through as a child, absolutely everything made me who I am today. And you need to have that in alignment. You have to accept that for you to feel healthy, to be congruent. So I don't know. I think that she's in a healthier space than Brianna in that case.
I find that, the shame, as you put it, or the struggles that I went through as a child, whether it's to do with trans or anything else, it shaped me into who I am. And I think that it also gave me a more level-headed view of what it is to be trans, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take it back. So it makes it, so the reason is because made her who she is. More reasonable view of what it means to be trans. Yeah, so this is a more level-headed view that comes from realizing what it means to be trans. What Brianna wants is to normalize being trans to the point that it's no longer even an issue socially, and it's never going to happen. And the reason I've said it, penis and vagina. You're not my real dad, Stream Elements. My watch has been saying it. Okay. Let's go.
You know, if I would have grown up in this world where, you know, at 12, my name was already Blair and I was, you know, making decisions like that and I was living that way, I don't think I would have as level-headed of a view of what it means to be trans. And, you know, I think that every child, even transgender children, even if, I'll put it this way, because I actually don't believe in transgender children per se. I believe in children who have gender dysphoria.
Good way to say it. Don't believe in words matter. Use that. Children with gender dysphoria. I know that it's like a lot of the time it's like, no, we don't need to do wrong speak and blah blah blah. Don't police the way people speak. It's like, actually no, this really makes a difference. There is a literal difference between saying transgender child and children with gender dysphoria. That means it's a child. I'm qualifying that the child has this condition. Transgender children means that this child is transitioning. We're transitioning the child completely different. It's more harmful. So children with gender dysphoria, absolutely.
No, yeah, I believe in children who have gender dysphoria, and that can sometimes dissipate. That can sometimes mean that they're gay, because gay people sometimes, you know, have gender dysphoria. That can sometimes be the result of certain traumas. It's not always transgender.
Ooh, that's another part is I have yet to find a real transgender person, like a classical transgender, as Brianna's spoken about, that actually hasn't gone through sexual assault. It seems like that is a trauma response. It seems like there's quite a what do you call it? Quite a relationship between those two things.
I think that transgender is a status that you know, take on when you actually transition. And in my
you transition. Okay, I think I'm in agreement with the way that she's making this terminology.
The way I view it should be as an adult, because that's an adult decision. But for children with gender dysphoria, I think that, you know, every one of those children deserve the right to find out if that's something that dissipates for them, if that's something that was the result of trauma, or if that's something that they are just mistaking for being gay, or if
it's really hard to disagree with her when she puts it that way. Like, I think that these children have the right to figure out whether this is a response, that these symptoms are because of this or this and this. It actually really hurts my heart to think about these poor children. Jesus. Children the right to figure out this will be will dissipate, is a result of trauma, or they're gay. I actually want to read that Irreversible Damage book. Let's put that as a note. Chancia, Kitty, read Irreversible Damage. I put an E at the end to emphasize it. Same as yesterday. Yep, we're just finishing it up. Very good point. Which point is that? CFH. The trauma thing, right? Sexual assault. Yeah, it makes sense. It seems like quite a mechanism that you change, that this changing to the other sex is a coping mechanism for sexual assault. It seems like a lot of men who transition to women have gone through sexual assault. And that's not to say now that the gender dysphoria isn't real. It's just saying there is a cause of it. Same morning, by the way. Morning, Theo. What's for breakfast? There's also a strong correlation between child victims essay and being a PDF file as an adult. So throw those Venn diagrams together and watch the political shenanigans unfold. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, Blair did. She does say so. Yeah. I don't know if it was sexual assault, but it was abuse.
If it's something that because they're autistic, they simply aren't processing
That's another thing, and there's the autism.
The binary of male and female properly, because that's a big thing. Autistic people, I'm only a little bit autistic. I'm like literally, I'm like right above the like you can get diagnosed, but you're not having much like issues with it.
I
Right?
just want to hone in on 2 points there for Brianna. Are trans kids a real concept?
That's
and
a great question. I love that he asked this. Are trans kids a real concept? There we go.
They be allowed to social transition?
So I think it's complicated because
That's such a politician's answer. Give me an answer. Tell me what you think. Okay.
I think, Blair, what you said about
Okay. Like, I understand it's complicated. Do you think the societal attitude men can't be raped with is a factor in it? Don't laugh at my top. What's wrong with my top? I thought it's cute. Theo. What's wrong with my top? Mean. Yeah, I think that definitely it's not even the societal, it's a primal. Brianna is not cis, no. Brianna is transgender. A transgender woman. Children with gender dysphoria. It's really cute. Thank you, Lucy. The girls seem to like it. Sparkles likes it too, but Theo's just a dick. I'm only a little bit autistic. That's what she said. She says she's like basically subclinical. It doesn't show enough booba. I don't have booba, Goodwin, so that doesn't help. Like, you see, there's nothing going on there. So so any shirt will do that. Okay, so no comment. Shut up, Sneem. You gals are great. Yeah, aren't they great? That's good gals. I'm a 7 out of 10 of the. Okay, stop reading the chat. I'm putting it away. Your top is gay. My top is normal gay. Thank you very much. Bring back normal gay people. Okay. Children, gender dysphoria, political. Okay. Let's bring here. I guess we are still over here. So, Brad says, are transgender children. How did he say it?
children. So
Trans kids.
with it.
I just
right?
want to hone in on 2 points there for Brianna. Are trans kids a real concept? And
A real concept. Should they be?
should they be allowed to social transition?
Yeah. Like he's like, give me the answer. Say whether yes or no. Are trans a social concept? Should they do socially? Okay. Whoopsie. Where are you at, Brad? Brad, what is your format? Okay. For Brianna.
So I think it's complicated because I think, Blair, what you said about children growing out of it's very true. You read Abigail Schreier's book, right?
Yeah.
Irreversible Damage. Terrifying. And I think that a lot of these girls, I 100% believe if rapid onset gender dysphoria research is allowed to continue, I think we're going to find this is a real thing with the female to male cohorts. So I think it's
What?
this is a real onset gender dysphoria. Research is allowed to continue. I think we're going to find this is a real thing with the female.
So this is the exception. She's like, oh yeah, all of the kids that detransition are, it's just the females that regret it. So it's just the females that are, and I do think there is that, sure, but you're forgetting all of the gay boys that you are going to be traumatizing into transgenderism. What about the effeminate gay guys we're gonna lose a lot of fabulous people to this movement. Trans kids socially, should they be allowed to transition? It's complicated. I'm not satisfied with that answer. So let's go back. It's complicated. Let's go to this.
A lot of these terrifying. You're right, because I think, Blair, what you said about children growing out of it's very true.
Okay, it's complicated because children grow out of it. Do grow out of it. Okay, and she does bring up the book Irreversible Damage, I think it is, or Reversible Damage, I don't know. By, what's her name? Abigail S.
You read Abigail Schreier's book, right?
Yeah.
Reversible Damage. Terrifying. Terrifying.
Reversible Damage, I suppose. She says that's terrifying. So that means, yes, it's damaging, so don't do it.
Terrifying. And I think that a lot of these girls, I 100% believe if rapid onset gender dysphoria research is allowed to continue, I think we're going to find this is a real thing with the female to male cohorts.
Okay, so we'll find the growing out of it. She thinks the female to male cohort. So if research into rapid onset, she also likes to lean on the jargon to make it sound like, you know, just to distract you, just like woohoo, woohoo, look at that rapid onset gender dysphoria continues. They will find it's in the female to male cohort. And then she doesn't care about the female to male because that's not her. She wants kids like her to have a different future. Female to male cohort, they find this happens a lot in the female to male cohort. Okay.
So I think it's complicated. Like, I'm very, very sure that I was a trans child in the sense that there's nothing that ever would have dissuaded me from this path.
Okay, so that's what's making her, because they do grow out of it, but she knows that she herself was a trans child. Was a trans child. She herself was a trans child, and nothing would have dissuaded her. I think that that's okay. We don't need, if nothing would have dissuaded you, make it through. I highly doubt that. Yeah, I don't know. I think people are underestimating the power of testosterone. It's a powerful drug that improves your mood. So when girls go on it, it boosts the mood and makes them think they've made a good decision. If they go off, they lose the mood booster. It can be devastating. Yeah, testosterone is one hell of a drug. There are some reasons that women do take testosterone, other than, to build muscle and things like that. Like a lot of people with polycystic ovary syndrome, whatever, they'll end up having to take it. I have had friends tell me that they got stupid on testosterone. That they made that you feel like all your decisions are good. Testosterone, hell of a drug. We're still talking about these chicks with dicks. Yes, we are. It would have been ego-shattering if Brianna considered the possibility that she made the wrong choice, unlike lying as a trans activist for years before allegedly changing minds. Look, think about how ego-shattering it is. You are being, that's the danger of social transition, is you putting that child down that path. That sure, their body can recover, but their mind. I'm all for having a social structure for what it is to be for normal gayness. What is a normal gay kid? That's where I'm at. Because they exist and that's it. It's happened socially, that you don't have to move anything around. You go through the world and you figure out whether you're gay or lesbian or straight, and fine, figure that out. But pushing the child into socially transitioning doesn't seem like a good idea. I was a trans child and nothing would have dissuaded her. So because of that,
I'm really sure of that. I think as a public policy, I think it makes sense to take a very, very steady hand. But Blair, one of the things.
No, that's not good enough. We don't go to the next thing. As a public policy, it's important to make to use a very to take a very steady hand. That's not good enough for me. I'm not happy with this. This is a politician's answer. This is like whatever I can get, I'll be happy to take it. Which is making me angry and making me think, yeah, maybe if Kamala had won, Brianna wouldn't be saying these things.
Things we do know, and I know you're less trustful of the science than I am, but there do seem to be extremely strong indications that if you're a male to female transsexual,
this is her main point. This is what she cares about the most, because
and you have that gender dysphoria before puberty, and you also have it like during puberty, like good way through it, there's an extremely strong chance you've got it for life. And I think like no matter what, those kids deserve support. Like,
that's okay. I'm happy with that. I'm on board with that. The kids do deserve support, but transitioning them is not support. Transitioning them is confusing the fuck out of them. Huh? I don't know. Like, are we gonna? I guess I like my first depressive episode. I was 11. What are we gonna do? Like, I don't know. Put me, let me go and commit suicide because I had convinced myself I should have died. Like, you need support through those conditions, absolutely. But you don't need affirmation. You don't need affirmation. Oh my god. Knows herself as a trans kid, but steady hand. If you're, she said, if you're a male to female transgender, and you had dysphoria before puberty and through puberty, then there's a good chance it's gone its way through. So science needs to find a way to identify those children. If you're a male to female who had dysphoria in before puberty, it persists somewhat throughout. But then I want you to say, then we have to let puberty happen. We have to let puberty happen. Please. And it persists throughout puberty. There's a good chance, even though you gave me the other statistic of 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10 men that want to transition into women are just gay. Okay. There's a good chance. This is the chance we want to take, Brianna. Is this the chance we want to take? Is this the hill we're going to die on? Cool. There's a good chance you will be continue to be trans. I agree with the way that Blair conceptualizes it. Having gender dysphoria is not necessarily the transitioning is what makes you a transgender person. Having gender dysphoria is a condition. Kitty tried to identify as believing Brianna was truthful, but then Kitty grew out of it. Yeah, I did. I did because I was I have been re-exposed to what buffoonery Brianna is saying. She's a lot more reasonable than, I will say, she's a lot more reasonable than a lot of trans people, okay? She's right there. She's got all of the pieces, but she's just not putting it together properly. And you know what? It's better than nothing. That's all I'll say. It's better than nothing, but no cigar.
Like, you deserve someone to go talk to that will help you figure out those feelings.
Yes, I'm very happy. I agree. Those children deserve support. I think everybody would say that. Obviously, there's the based, Chad, horrible people online that say they'll beat their children if they come around saying that they're gay and things like that.
I also just want to respectfully
fact check. Ooh.
Check something that you said. You're talking like there's a ton of surgery on children, and I fully agree with you. For these FTMs, the mastectomies particularly, completely out of control. No rush on that, which is why I was so glad to see the Plastic Surgeons Society just announced that they no longer support any kind of permanent medical surgery for someone under 18, which is
I don't know. She's saying respectfully fact check you. This was still happening. I don't feel like this is an own or something. It's like, oh, yeah. So she's respectfully fact checking. Remember, with the respectfully fact check Blair on surgeons. It's like what is she saying here?
Particularly complete, and I fully agree with you. For now, you're talking like there's a ton of surgery on children, and I fully.
You're talking like there is a ton of surgery on children. It's taken a while. It's taken a while to get out of these old habits, I suppose. Respectfully fact check Blair on the surgeons. You're talking like there are tons of surgeries happening on minors. Then she goes into agreeing with that, agreed for female to male. Mastectomies are out of control. So that's not fact checking. That's not changing what was happening. Okay, cool. Next one.
Fully agree with you. For these FTMs, the mastectomies particularly, completely out of control. No rush on that, which is why I was.
No rush on that. She says this no rush, which I think she's talking about the one-way street of what's the name, testosterone, which what she was talking about, is that you don't need to rush. There's no need. But for the men, we don't want testosterone to happen to their bodies.
I was so glad to see the Plastic Surgeons Society just announced that they no longer support any kind of permanent medical surgery.
Permanent medical surgery. Plastic Surgeon Society no longer supports permanent any kind medical surgery. Okay, I'm very glad for that. Me too. I'm also glad, Brianna, but I'm kind of sad for the people that were butchered up until that point. Oopsie poopsie. I guess they didn't get the memo in time. Oopsie poopsie. But it's okay. At least now they know. Ah, we knew. Thank goodness we found out that it was really bad to chop the breast of little girls. Yeah, I know. I was also thinking that. Am I being pedantic? But what is non-medical surgery? I think she put medical and surgery together to just put the words there. Mastectomies and breast. You know what? That's gonna be for the breast. I'm gonna star that for the breast. What's the name? The breast think. Okay.
For someone under 18, which is exactly the right policy. That is 100% right. No
Okay, so surgery. No surgery, but where are we with the hormones?
surgeries, no vaginoplasty, none of that.
Okay.
So I just
Ask. See, there, Brad. I'm upset with you. Why didn't you ask her? What do you mean? What about the hormones? So she's against she's against surgery there. Cool.
I just respectfully, I think, like, as I'm sitting here listening to you, I think you have a little bit of all or nothing thinking on this. Like,
Okay, so she's just and she also just goes respectfully. Again, respectfully, Blair fact check thing. I think you have all or nothing. I'm gonna put this here. This was a kind of weird little jab out that she's that she tries to just disagree, and it doesn't really work out very well. Good night, David. All right, I need to go to sleep. Beauty rest if we're going to stream in the morning. Good night, everyone. See you later. You will be missed, but he will definitely be enjoyed later on. Okay. Surgeon, no sports center. Respectfully, you have all or nothing thinking here. Can we get to the point where filling kids full of unnecessary drugs and surgically removing body parts on children is considered on par with, and maybe worse than, lobotomy? Thank you, Creamage. If you yesterday, this is one of the first things that I said. Yeah, it's basically it's just like, do we need to do this more? We don't need to regret more. I think we have enough regrets. We don't need to go further.
understand that the trust has been broken, and I agree with you that the science has been hijacked by the progressive fringe, but I don't conclude that means all science is bad and we need a maximalist ban.
So she's saying, okay, so understands Blair's lack of trust. But doesn't mean there should be a maximalist ban. So yeah, it's bad, but it's not that bad. I think that's what she's saying.
To me, it makes it that much more important to, say, build a new version of WPATH that's actually interested in finding the truth. That's
okay. Doesn't mean that. So she wants to find she wants to get the science back on track. Okay, but I still don't want the science to be testing on the children's. Oh, okay. New version of WPATH will make the science better.
Not politically hijacked, that will actually figure out what the good standards of care are that we need. That's got to be done for adults anyway. So I think like
That's got to be done for adults anyway. Yes, do it for adults. And that's it. We're good. Is needed. Okay, so that they can find. Okay.
you and I think I'm looking around for leaders and asking where they are.
See, this is her trying to be friends with Blair again. And I'm just not saying Blair is not friends with her. I'm just saying she's trying to mend this, and Blair is just not feeling it at the moment, it seems.
And they're not the people in the ACLU or GLAAD or HRC or any of these fringe organizations.
She's repeating that she doesn't like looking for leaders and not looking for leaders in trans community and not finding them. So this is like her, I don't know, third attempt at bringing up, we should do this. And Blair is just like, cool.
Have been hijacked. I think respectfully, Blair, it's people like you and me. You said something at the beginning of this, which is trans women we've been run out of our own movement, which is 100% true. This non-binary fringe has come into.
Okay, so she's again this. I'm gonna put here the making friends with Blair. Okay, but this is what she's willing to agree with Blair on, that trans women have been run out of their movement. So this is her, like, this is what I agree with you, but I still want to pump hormones into kids.
To it, and to use Free Palestine's phrase, they've colonized us. And this avalanche of MTFs that showed up 5 minutes.
Okay, it's a summary MTFs. So she's somewhat of a trans version of a TERF.
Ago, they pushed us out of our own movement. It says so much that people like you and I that are
moved trans women. Okay.
Trans medicalist, we don't have an.
So she wants to use this trans medicalism thing. It's like, by the way. And then he asks,
organization acting for our civil rights anymore. So
Can you explain what that means, trans medicalists?
Trans medicalists, so there are 2 points of view. Blair and I agree that we have a mental health care issue. And
trans is medical health care. What's it? Mental health care. Okay. I will put Brad. I just want to note that Brad did ask about it. This is for me to, at some point, I suppose I'm going to comment about Brad's moderation.
It is ultimately a healthcare issue. I went to a doctor, I did therapy, I took some hormones to change my body, I got some surgery, then I got 2 more letters, and I got vaginoplasty. Very happy with every single part of that. They want to write sex out of law.
That was the golden moment I enjoyed. They want to write sex out of law. You can't do that because you can't write sex out of existence. That's my main point, is you can't write sex out of existence, so you can't write it out of relevance. And you can't top down change society. And then she's going on to they want to write sex out of law. You can
and say you can self ID into a women's bathroom or women's sports or change it any day that you want to, and that being a woman is just a feeling. That is bullshit. And it has come at the expense of Blair and I being able to live our lives and go to the fucking bathroom. It's really, really upsetting, Brad.
I can see why Blair's face is just like, continue, because I suppose I'm more on Goodwin's side now, where it's like, yeah, I guess too little too late. It's too little too late. I wanted to be happy.
Yeah, so I guess I will ask you.
Dude, look how Blair is just like, look, because she
then
Brad, live our lives and go to bullshit. And it has come at the expense of Blair and I being able to live our
she nodded.
lives and go to the fucking bathroom. It's really, really upsetting, Brad.
I think what could be irritating Blair is like, oh, it's affecting you. Now it's affecting you. Now you'll talk about it. So it's come at the expense of Blair living our lives and going to the bathroom. I need to like really highlight that this is my big point. This highest point of oof from Brianna here, in my opinion, because there is that too little too late. Too little too late. Doesn't mean we must now run Brianna out of town and never speak to her. It's just I can see why Blair's face is just like that.
yeah, so I guess I will ask you guys then, because part of what the Trump order deals with is insurance coverage. Blair, to you, should this stuff for adults be covered by insurance as part of the?
Okay, so this is we're on the home stretch. I'm asleep. I'm sleep. Love you and chat, right? Good night, snakes. Enjoy your sleepies. Lizard women are real. Okay. What? It looks nice. What looks nice? Let's write sex out of law. Unisex prisons for the win. Do you want me to zoom out? This is a beautiful thing when you zoom out. You go. Oh, not on there. Here you go. Fit map. That's where we're at. But you have to do that as well. Open this up. You could fold all sub branches. There we go. Anyway, let's go back. Highest point of oof to Brianna here. Living our lives. There we go. Where's my commentary block? Okay. All the madness is hidden behind the YouTube video. That's good. Fine. You don't need to see it. And that it's supposed to. I think what I'm going to do is, and I don't know. We'll see how long it takes. If I do get to the finish line with this on stream. But what I'm going to do, whether it's online or not, is put boundaries into the map. I'm going to make a summary diagram of their arguments, and then basically just you make a boundary where you say this is what she's arguing in here. Add glitter. Well, now that I've got Xmind Pro, I can. Okay. fucking liar. That, you know what? There will be an Emperor Goodwin edition where we can do that. Okay. Okay, there we are. Now we are going to Trump's executive order. Now, what about insurance coverage? So that's actually where we're at. Well done, guys. We've gotten to it, I think.
This medical perspective, should this, because part of what, yeah, so I guess I will ask you guys then, because part of what the Trump order deals with is insurance coverage. Blair, to you, should this stuff for adults be covered by insurance as part of this medical perspective?
Should transitioning by medical insurance for adults. Transitioning for adults. Okay. Close you, and we get you.
Or should it not be? And if it should be, does that include people who are on government insurance or in prison, for example?
Well, definitely not. In prison.
No care for prison transitioners. Okay.
I think that if it comes down to private employers who want to cover whatever they want to cover, then that's an A+. Go ahead, do your thing. And that's, I think, the way to go. You know, when it comes to taxpayers paying for this stuff, I think it's hard to look at, you know, first of all, the trans medical community, and I don't mean trans medicalist, like people who believe it's a medical issue. I mean like the surgeons, I mean like the medical infrastructure around the trans surgery industry and care industry, and the trans community itself and their activists. It's hard to look at this group of people and see that they haven't really used and abused people's, you know, good faith support of them. You know, there was a
jaded Blair over here. She's like, nah, the taxpayers can't cover it because we can't trust them anyway. Medical, not so sure. Medical industry has abused good faith.
Time where the T and the LGBT really enjoyed that, you know, blanket support that society had in the early 2010s, especially, you know, coming off the heels of gay marriage. There was a time where it was at worst indifference and at best complete support of the issue. And so to ask taxpayers to, you know, pay for these surgeries that it's still up in the air if these things really are, you know, life-saving like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know you
asking taxpayers to cover something isn't confirmed be life-saving. Yeah, it seems like being trans is difficult no matter how you go about it.
You'll find people like perhaps Brianna, I don't want to speak for you, but just there's people who claim that it is, right? And that they wouldn't be here today without them. But when you look at, you know, how much effery has been done with the suicide rate statistics and how politically charged those are, right? It's just kind of like, I don't really know what to believe about how life-saving these surgeries are. And so the argument that it should be, you know, paid for by taxpayers, I just don't know. I really don't think so. And especially so long as, you know, it's interesting. We're sitting here, you know, talking about like trans adults transitioning now. And Unfortunately, for most of the public, when they even hear the trans issue, they only think of kids, because that's how much, the trans kid side of this has monopolized the entire conversation, because it's just that.
Okay, she's going back to just the fact that we're not in a position to have that discussion anyway. I think it's because of this lack of trust. Then you can't talk as if this damage hasn't been done, which I'm understanding when it comes to Brianna's really acting as if we can just carry on as if nothing's happened. It's like, no, you actually cannot. We need to scrap it all.
That abhorrent. It's just that insane to people. So
can't even discuss current can't even discuss transition. Most people thinking the arguments. The movement. Go Blair.
No, I hate to be, but I will do it. I hate to be the tough love person in the trans community, but you're gonna have to go back to figuring out how to pay for your own surgeries for a while. You're gonna go back to having to deal with the fact that nobody wants to use your pronouns for a while. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. And frankly, if I'm just gonna be real, things were better for trans people when nobody knew what the we were. When nobody.
Okay, so she's like, you're gonna have to suck it up, basically. They have to pay for their own surgeries. Deal with, sorry, you guys can't even see that. Deal with people not using pronouns. They're just, sorry, baby, you're gonna have to deal with it. That doesn't mean we now need to support being a bigot to trans people. I don't think so, but yeah. Whoopsie.
Nobody really paid attention, when nobody really cared that much. It may have been harder to get medical care, but hey, that's life. I mean, not to make it about me, I paid for all of my, transition. And was it hard? Yeah. Was it worth it? Yeah. But I just think that to ask anything of the public on this topic right now, it's just not the time. Like we got to give it a few years. We got to give a few years of some good faith behavior. We got to get a trans sports league going. You know what I'm saying?
See, there's this Brianna's disagree face.
Give a few years now. It's just not the time. Like we got to give it a few years. We got to give a few years of some good faith behavior. We got to get a trans sports league going.
There, I feel like that expression is Brianna going, oh my gosh, you're cowing down, you're not fighting. So she's a good faith. Get trans sports league going. I think that would be a good idea.
You know what I'm saying? Really show people that we can do our big one as far as competing against each other and respect women. We got
to respect women.
To reframe the conversation that transition is about adults. We got to
reframe. So you're not going far enough to join Blair here, Brianna. Sorry.
Stop with the stuff about dating preferences, and I never want to hear a they them pronoun again.
Okay, so she's there. She's like, wow, okay, yay. I'm also reasonable. Oh, look at you. Dating preferences. Stop with the dating. Okay, so these are all the excesses of the trans community, the trans movement at the moment. She does the weird. I do that actually.
And I just don't.
Yeah.
And
So
when
I
we have
agree.
2 years of
Ever,
that, I think people
ever.
will be surprised how forgiving the public is and how much they're willing to be like, you know what, maybe we can reconsider. But as of right now, you're not going to catch Blair White talking about the taxpayer needs to pay for anybody's vagina.
Bri-
I love that. I love that. That's the sass of Blair that I've watched her solo content for. She's just the way that she talks. She is lovely. Sorry, I enjoy that. And again, I would not want her to be reading me. Mm-mm. She's based. No, she's. You're not going to find Blair White talking about taxpayers paying for someone's vagina. Like, fucking good.
So Brianna, for
So
you,
let
I
me-
think
yes.
the surgeries are
And she's like, does her hair. She did her hair. She's like, can't
different
even.
because those are quite
I
expensive.
can't even be as feminine as Blair White.
But maybe this makes me like the woke lib of the panel. But I'm if being trans is a medical condition and hormone therapy or something like that is the treatment,
Okay, so this is his opinion here is if trans is a medical condition, then insurance should cover it. I think that's just the broader topic of health insurance and the what should be covered by your government and what shouldn't. I don't know.
actually makes sense to me. It'd be covered by insurance and it'd be covered by government health care the same way that other medical treatments, including something like anti-anxiety medication or something like that would be. Where's your thought process on these questions?
Well, this is where we're going to get into nuanced policy stuff because, again, the problem is the lowered standards. We have people that are out there getting these plastic surgeries that just would not have qualified for it 10 years ago, 20 years
She's
ago.
getting practical. I agree. I'm happy with this. This idea of her talking about the practicality and that needs to guide policy. It's policy is not always as principled as we would like it to be. It's more like what is the most convenient? What can we actually get? We've got the base principle, and then it's like what will the people accept? Which is kind of what Blair is on about. She's like, yeah, cool. I have that principle, but you're not going to hear me talking about that. Medication should be covered. So she goes policy, nuanced policy. Nuanced policy discussion. There are too many. Okay.
They're not trans. Some of them are transvestites.
That was like the most based thing that she said. Some of them aren't trans, some of them are just transvestites. Or whatever, however you freaking spell that.
Others of them, they're going to regret this stuff. So I think, like, and I've actually talked to, trans healthcare providers that are plastic surgeons about this that have been shocked as their patient population has just 100% changed in the course of 10 years.
You're
They used to
repeating
do,
yourself?
like FFS, cheekbone implants, jaw reductions, rhinoplasty, the same stuff Blair and I have had done. And now they're doing like all these masculinization surgeries.
She's repeating.
So I think it's a medical problem. But I think part of it is we're getting the wrong people in the door because the standards have been lowered so much. You can literally self-ID your way into a lot of these surgeries. And the other thing, Blair, I don't know if this still existed when you transitioned, but when I transitioned, we had a rule that you had to actually go out in the world and hold a
So now she starts, it's just using the conversation to communicate with Blair. Have this conversation in the context of a debate. It's okay. One of the standards, I remember there was that standard that you had to live it wasn't so much that she had to get a job. This is what she's going to describe here, is that as one of the requirements for transitioning, there was a certain amount of time that you have to work as work and live and hold a job as a woman before you can get the surgery. So you have to socially be a woman before you can actually medically become more female. Because I'll say more female because you don't become actually female. That was a requirement. I don't know what it's like now in South Africa. It seemed like, I think it was like 2 years that you had to be living as a female socially. You had to live as a female socially as a requirement before you could get the surgery. Whereas now it's like you have to get your surgery before you can socially transition, which, yeah. Okay, so and just think about that, what the person has to go through. I understand, but they are willing to go through social transition and all the issues that happen with social transition without feminization, without all of that. They still go through it, and they still live as a functioning woman, and then they go through their transition, and that's better. That seems like a good outcome. It's the best outcome.
A job for a year before you could get this stuff, just to make sure you were socially integrated, that you could function. Okay,
It didn't.
That would rule a lot of people out.
Blair herself was actually very easily fast-tracked through her surgeries, and she'll say so. All said and required, getting a job. That was a thing. I remember it being that way in South Africa. So it was a standard. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know what they're doing with it now.
Out these days.
Well, it was a good rule. It was a good rule. You think
that was a good rule? So she's thinking you could put that rule on kids, and that would be fun.
You know, I would have loved to just stay in my house and screwed around on IRC or whatever, but I had to go get a job. And that really helped to integrate me. The old school gatekeeping.
So there,
used to give trans.
She says that really helped me integrate. That's what Blair has said. She's like, my whole experience of being trans without having that early social integration has made me understand being trans more.
Women a path to get better. It's like, you feel you've got gender dysphoria, go talk to a therapist. Okay, you've talked to a therapist, go talk to a doctor. Make sure you've got no healthcare issues. You did that, you're on HRT, go get a job so you can get vaginoplasty. Go get some other letters to show you've got no comorbidities. This is a path that we used to go on that set us up to be normal socialized women. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason why I'm a little bit more well-adjusted than a lot of the younger people out there. So it's not that I don't think insurance should pay for this. It's I think it is untrue if you're claiming there's not people getting these surgeries paid for, that it's not serving. And it comes back to the central problem that trans healthcare, the politics have come first, and we've got to change it so the healthcare comes first.
Yeah, the politics is not going to go away. She says that the politics has come first, but we've got to make sure the healthcare comes first. I don't know how you get out of the way of politics. Okay. Sounds like woo-woo.
Yeah, I agree. Just to, expand slightly and then we can move on, is like, I completely agree. It's like, you can't really in good faith say that, insurance needs to pay for this stuff when the entire methodology for who gets it and who doesn't and what kinds of surgeries has all been so warped.
Yeah.
So until it's depoliticized and we get some doctors in there that really know what they're doing, then this can really be seen as something experimental. And that's where me being, a conservative actually plays into this, because I actually believe in experimental treatments and therapy for people. I believe in alternative therapies for cancer. I've seen them work. I believe in alternatives to mainstream science. And unfortunately, what we have here is that the way the trans issue is being handled, the mainstream science is jacked on it. So until it's fixed, then I would say no.
So here's my hard question for you: how do we fix this, Blair? Like, you voted, you worked as hard as you could to get Trump elected. I worked as hard as I could to get Kamala elected. We can still be friends. Like, we disagree on that.
It was
But
vibes,
here we
no
have
methodology.
2 trans women that feel like our civil rights vehicle has been hijacked by lunatics. How do we, trans women, actual trans women, not pretend trans women, not non-binaries?
I was jacked on this. You see, Emperor Goodwin, I was jacked on Brianna saying these things, of her saying, "Yay, they have been, it's been hijacked by psychos." I was on that. I was like, yes, she's doing that. Consider transitioning a experiment. You got played, Kitty. Yeah, I got played. I got played hard. You know what? I say it's because I was just so happy to get something. Okay, I was just so happy to get another person saying some sense at all.
How do
The bar was so low. That's it. The bar was just so low.
we build something where we can have a say in our own healthcare again? Because it's
So she's like, look, let's move on. Let's get into the activism. Where can we get active? And Blair's just like, oh, fuck you.
so clear to me. It's the reform is not going to come from the ACLU or GLAAD or any of these organizations that went for these maximalist policies that are making the public hate us. How can we regain this? Because as best as I can see, we've got to have like an army of Brianna Wu's and Blair Whites that are
Be
out there
friends.
speaking for our community, telling the truth about what we know and don't know about science, and trying to educate the public and say, we're not all fucking crazy like you're seeing on TV. That is literally the only idea I've got.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of corrections need to be made. There needs to be a period of, reconciliation and frankly, destroying what is. Like, what trans is right now needs to be destroyed. And people can take that as me saying, like, trans people need to be destroyed. Absolutely not. I'm not trying to get destroyed. I'm trying to destroy this ideology that's been birthed around the trans issue that did not even exist 10 years ago when I transitioned. And people don't even believe that. But when I
100%.
transitioned, I started in 2015, coming up on 10 years. The first thing I did was say, you know what, let me go to a support group in my city because it might be helpful for me to, be in contact with other people going through what I'm going through.
This is proper.
I found myself at a round table with 10 to 15 people. Almost all of them identified as some kind of they, them, some kind of Zer.
Yes, I love this. I love this comment. This stinks. I pushed an agenda for years that you fought against. It failed. Now you help me fix the situation I've put in. That, I've put myself in. It's like, look, I don't want Blair to be reject help from anywhere. So that's what I was on. Like, you don't reject anyone coming to Jesus, okay? But she hasn't come all the way to Jesus, so I'm not satisfied with that. And I require more penance. I feel like I require more penance.
Or some kind of trans mask, trans femme, and I'm looking like, oh, I'm like the thing in the medical literature, like the transsexual. And I knew right there something was wrong.
Yeah.
And so that needs to be ripped apart. Yeah. And if people like that want to still use whatever kind of phrases for them, I think actual trans people, transsexuals like you and I, need to have a real big issue with them.
Yeah.
Yes, go Blair. Have a real big, and you see what is happening is Brianna, you don't have a big enough issue. You don't have a big enough issue yet. I guess her yelling on Piers Morgan helps. It really does. But I need you to take an extra step. And I am the arbiter of all that is necessary in life. So listen to me. Real trans people, basically. Trans civil war. Okay, so we've got TERF, which is trans exclusionary radical feminist, right? So we should find another term that is NB, so it would be like NERF. So non-binary exclusionary radical NERT. So it would be let me write it down. Okay. Real trans people should have an issue with people that are hijacking their movement, right? Movement. And then it would be trans, no, trans, but non-binary, exclusionary, radical transgenderism. I would have a problem with the word transgenderism because you don't want ism as a thing. It's not non-binary people. Hey Dash Roland, and what is being said here is that non-binary people, this not trans non-binary, I suppose it has to be tn, because normal, just a non-binary person that doesn't want any healthcare is not part of this. So it would have to be trans non-binary exclusionary radical transgender would be or turt. Yeah, you could just go turt. Call it a turt. Trans non-binary. How do you trans a non-binary? Well, see, that is the thing. That is what does that even mean? That's what Blair was fighting against. That's what Blair has been trying to discuss. T-nert. Yeah, I think that makes better. T-nert. Like she's trying to say that non-binary, you can still call yourself non-binary over there, but don't come and make yourself transgender. You're not part of us. Yeah, Q is just whatever. I suppose that's it. Yeah.
Have a real big issue, need to be real loud about it. And actually, back to what I said, kind of that we need to humble ourselves thing, especially, people who we need to humble ourselves because you need to force yourself to have more of an issue with the trans shit that's become than the conservatives that are mad about it.
Ooh, this is a big moment. Have more of an issue. That's not what's the name? That's commentary. We need to change the color of this. Hello. Okay. Okay, there. Okay. What she said it very nicely. Wait. Hateful to no, this is previous.
Or have an issue with we need to humble ourselves because
have more of an issue with, she always calls it the trans shit than with conservatives. That is a very, very difficult pill to swallow. And let me see Brianna's face when she hears this.
Especially, people who we need to humble ourselves because you need to force yourself to have more of an issue with the trans shit that's become than the conservatives that are mad about it. No matter how hateful they are.
She said, yeah, okay.
No matter how much you're going to be on X or on YouTube and you're going to have to read comments about how you're a mentally ill man. you're gonna have to hear it, and you're
Oh, shush. So endure the conservatives. Is it endure and endure? Endure the conservatives who insult you online. Okay.
you're gonna have to still have more of an issue with the gender fluid they them who is conflating your medical condition with what they are, because those are the people that conservatives are actually mad about. They don't know it, a lot of them, but those are the ones they're actually mad about. So that's, I think, been the biggest.
There you go. Make them understand that that's who they're upset with. Brianna has that fuck you look. This is what you need to do. Endure the conservatives that insult you online. Don't focus on them. Rise above, continue, and show, those ones over there, those are our shared enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So then make friends with the conservatives through that way. Have more of a problem with the gender fluid people. What did she say? She didn't say hijacking. What she said? Misconstruing? Was it misconstruing or
issue? But those are the ones they're actually mad about. They don't know it, a lot of them. Those are the people that
conflating?
conservatives are actually mad about. They don't know it, a lot of them, but those are the ones they're actually mad about. So that's, I think, been the biggest issue. It's hard for people in the community to, if they're going to pick their enemy, which one they see as their enemy, they're going to pick that caricature of the conservative who's like, you're a man, over like the gender fluid who's like, I'm transgender too. My pronouns are bunny self. But for me, the thing that makes me different from those people in the community is like, I've seen those people as way more of a problem, because the only reason the conservatives are mad is because of those people. And the proof in
You
the
agree?
is the fact that
You agree?
I've had a 10-year.
You agree? Then go forth.
Career in conservative media, with 1.5 million YouTube subscribers, most of which are conservative, many of which are deeply religiously conservative, who still find common ground with me and who still see, themselves in me based on all these other traits that paint me as a person, not just trans. And when they realize that trans can be something other than those screaming blue-haired activists, you would actually be so surprised by how much they are actually grateful to be freed of some of their hatred. People being hateful or being mad or having anger,
What were we agreeing to? It's agreeing to having more of a problem with people hijacking real gender dysphoria and transgenderism. Have more of a problem with the crazy liberals. Be a conservative trans person.
It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
It does not feel good. And so what I get a lot of is, thank you. I didn't know that I didn't have to be mad about this topic. I didn't know I didn't have to hate all of these people. And so you can actually become, I'm trying not to get too religious here. I'm not going to quote anything, but you can actually become the healing in these people that you see as your enemy, these conservative right-wingers who wear MAGA hats and say you're a man. You can heal them by being the bigger person. And that's what people don't understand. We're a community that's very much hung up on the victim complex of things. And so it's impossible for us to see us as bringing on any of this backlash. But the reality is, the cold hard reality is, a lot of what's coming down the pike right now, when we're talking about, a second Trump term, first of all, it's not as bad as people are saying.
I think it's important to do that. Second Trump term. Look, in terms of for trans people and gay people, I'm in agreement, but some of the ideas that Trump's coming up with right now, I'm just, it's a bit harebrained in my opinion. But it's not as bad as they were saying. No gay internment camps. Okay.
Like, we need to get over the hysteria, the detention camps.
No concentration camps for trans
this
people.
Pre-genocide, if God forbid you can't have an X on your driver's license anymore, you should have never had it in the first place, right? So, and we can get into that as well. But the main thing, I know that,
tactical disagreement. You think she should have stopped with the Trump stuff? No, I think it's good. She's pushing it as far as it needs to go. She doesn't need to temper her opinion here. She doesn't need to convince Brianna more. She doesn't have to make herself more attractive to Brianna. Brianna's just got to come to Jesus, basically. Blair is not above criticizing Trump. Don't worry. She's just gonna, if there's something something that people are talking about that's stupid, don't. She's gonna correct them. God forbid. Yeah, basically she's basically saying, God forbid that you need to change your passport.
I think this is where you and I differ just a little bit, Brianna. And it's not that I don't respect it, because this opinion is valid as well. Your view is very valid here. That like you're just kind of, from what I can see, you're like, how do we go forward and fight for trans rights in a way that actually makes sense? And for me, I'm like, I think we actually need to stop fighting for trans rights for a while.
Yeah. So where they differ is respects Brianna view that Vienna's search for a way forward fighting for trans rights correctly but doesn't.
Because it's not as if the community has proven that they can even do that in an effective way. So I may trust you to do that in a more effective way than most people in the community. I may trust myself to do it, but by and large, I think it needs to be encouraged for trans people to just sit down for a while.
So I don't disagree with you. And just to be clear, my inbox is filled with the exact same thing, but in mirror land from Democrats. I was on, Free Press yesterday, Barry Weiss's podcast. I must have gotten like, 40 messages this morning from people, Democrats, saying thank you for talking about this. They're looking for an off ramp from the craziness. So I'm 100.
Okay, so she says be an off ramp for the craziness. Democrats are looking for an off ramp for the craziness. Refers to emails from Dems. Okay, cool.
100% in alignment with you there.
And it's important that you're that,
Yeah.
because a lot of those liberals, they won't find they won't see the Blair Whites as the
Right.
ship out. They'll see you as that. So that's why
Right.
it's
So
good
you're
that you're
doing
here.
your people, I'll work on mine. I think that's great. But at the same time, and first of all, I 100% agree with your assessment. I was the first trans woman to ever transition.
She likes bringing this up. That she was the first woman to ever transition in UMass or something.
Miss.
Old Miss.
And I know conservatives can be lovely people.
Conservatives can be lovely people. So this is just making me go like, oh, so you knew that and you still didn't believe?
Trans people. Some of the people that helped me the most when I was transitioning were Bush loving conservatives, right? And I also really agree with you, Blair. This attitude did not exist 10 years ago, that biological women needed to shut up and we needed to go conquer them. And if they had some problems, they just needed to sit down. Yeah, I think about every single woman that helped me when I was transitioning. Like, I am thankful to her to this day. I called up one of my friends from high school, like,
She's bridge building here.
just this week. I'm crying on the phone with her saying, thank you for teaching me how girls socialize with each other. It's been so helpful for me in ways you don't understand. The moment we started treating them like an inconvenience should have been like an alarm that something was deeply wrong with their community. I think that one of the psychological differences between us is I think I'm much more of a I believe that the best we're going to get on this is what we fight for. And I think trans women do deserve a medical organization that actually is interested in the science.
She wants to
because
start this new. Come on, Blair. Fund the new organization, Blair. Come on. Should have seen a problem with finding women inconvenient, or with viewing women as an inconvenience. Okay, so it's a lot of platitudes here. Okay, cool. Okay.
deserve a political organization that's actually interested in our civil rights, not the non-binary political project, but you and I, like looking out for this in a common.
You and I. She's really trying with the you and I thing. Blair's not ready for this, okay? Blair's not ready for this. She's still mad at you. She still has beef.
sense way. And it's so frustrating because I'm looking around for the leaders and we don't have it.
She had this note. I'm looking around for the leaders. You and I, the leaders. I think there's about 3 times.
It's all this nut job progressive fringe that won't even come on the.
And look, I know Blair has a lot of work done on her face, so she's not very expressive anyway, but she can be, okay? And she's just like, bitch, please. Just look at her face.
Show to talk about this stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
we
very
tried.
frustrating.
She doesn't smile. She's not smiling. She doesn't do anything. I don't know, maybe she's not in a good mood in this.
Tried to get a true lefty
Yeah.
activist
Like she's not smiling at Brad either.
to come on.
She's
and join
not.
the
She's not
conversation.
crazy. She's a good friend, but there are other people.
Well,
that
we
said
also-
no.
yeah,
Look how angry she is here. So I don't know who they're talking about here. Listen.
The show to talk about this stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
we
very
tried.
frustrating.
We tried to get a true lefty
Yeah,
activist
well,
to come on.
She's
and join
not.
the
She's not
conversation.
crazy. She's a good friend, but
She's not crazy. She's a good friend. If they're talking about Blossom, girl, that's crazy.
there are other people.
Well,
that
we
said
also
no.
we invited
Yes.
multiple people and they all
Yes.
said no, which is always
Yes.
interesting when people. It is not exactly a hostile gotcha situation, but
Well,
some
did you
people
tell them I
are
was coming?
yes, and then
You shouldn't have done that.
Blair is the not here. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is.
I thought they would want to engage with you, right? You're like
No, they don't want to. They don't want to.
they've seen too many people get cooked.
Yeah, well, Blair will cook people and let her.
All right. Well, thank you both for having this conversation and coming on. And to everybody out there, let us know what you thought of the conversation. Do hit that like button. Make sure
I did a whole 8 hours basically on
you're
it.
subscribed. Let me know who you'd like to see, what debates, what topics you'd like me to feature on the channel. And we'll talk again real soon.
Right, so we made it, boys and girls. We made it through the whole video. I'm very, very proud of us. Very proud of the whole thing. This means Kitty is pro cannibal. What? No, I'm not. His shirt is ugly. We made it. I'm very, very proud. You listened the whole time. Sparkles, I know you've been here. You were here yesterday and today talking about cooking people. Oh, see how easily things go. And you were helpful. You were very helpful. You helped me stay on track even. Other people were yeah. So, let's have a zoom out. There's a lot of repeated stuff. I've actually, maybe it's because I was, that's going to be one of the main points that I talk about in the summary video, is that I very much on my first few listens through was just so happy that that Brianna had some sense, that Brianna had continued with what we had seen on what do you call it, on Piers Morgan. So there we go. Is that all of it? Yeah. There we go. Look how pretty it is. So pretty. We made it. Kitty recognized Brianna was full of shit. Listen, she's got a lot less shit in her than the people they were talking about for the. It's focusing. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Let's see what the poll looks like. Yeah, 85%. Wouldn't so 85, 84% with 38 votes. We've got yes, I would socially transitioning is okay because it's not permanent. And then we got 84% saying no, it still has a bad thing. That's my people. Hey, Nobor! What's up, Nobor? Good to see you. But yeah, we are. Oh, Kitty, you sweet summer child. I do not look forward to seeing your hopes crushed. As long as Blair stays Blair. With Woo, catch my convo with Woo that I discorded you. Let's see. We've got some time. You did discord me yesterday. Why do I not have? Oh, did you put it in the? Did you put it in the darn Discord? Did you put it in Thinkers chat? Where is it, Zerofox? It's in Thinkers chat. Okay. May I ask if you don't mind sharing? Okay, no, that's before. I had a brief Twitter discussion with Brianna Wu about a month ago. Though she is pushing back on trans activists now, she doesn't seem to agree that the movement is, or at least has become, homophobic. It seems like she resorts to her own experience, which I do not think is descriptive of what has been going on in the past decade. Perhaps in her day, the people that claimed trans were legit and the societal push was against trans. But after it became social fad, with rapid increase, society has shifted to way more false positives, including many would-be gays. That is the big problem. Let's share this here. Let's go to this. And this is the tweet thing. There we go. Surreal to watch this video while I'm having a conversation claiming gay trans children don't exist. Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you're like this, you're on a path and it's probably not going to heterosexual. Fine. I'm okay with that, but okay, gay/trans children don't exist. No, a gay child can exist. That's how it is. Some people say that the radical trans movement is actually homophobic. It is gay erasure. I agree with you, Zerofox. Some of it is gay erasure. I've been saying it the whole time. So they would want to take this kid and insist he is a straight girl. Yes. Zerofox. The kid needs to grow up without such influences and he will find his way. So that's where I'm sitting at, which is, yeah, that's not socially transitioned, because you're going to make, we don't need your kid to turn out heterosexual. Don't worry. We don't need that. We're good. But we don't need to trans your child either. Hello, I'm glad you're reacting to this debate, Kitty. I just watched it myself today. Oh, what are any thoughts you want to share, Joker? I started off being very happy that that Brianna had come to Jesus, had come to some sort of sense, but I now find her conclusions not good enough, not far enough. In the bar was so low that I was so happy the first time I heard it, but now going through it in detail, I've gone, yeah, I need more from you. Okay, so some people say that radical trans movement is actually homophobic. It is a gay erasure. They would want to take this kid and insist he is straight. That's it. The kid needs to grow up with such influences as he finds his way. Absolutely. You're correct as far as we need to just give kids a space to figure out who they are. Okay. But if anything, the project is the other way around. Do you think I haven't had people tell me to just be gay instead? Okay, so I agree with what you said in the Discord. You said, hold on, back in your day, maybe they wanted that it was anti-trans. that was an anti-trans thing. But now with the social contagion. So I wouldn't really consider the movement radical before. In the past 10 or so years, I imagine prior to then, as you allude to, society would indeed push the other way. Only recently have the scales tipped. We should strive to strike a balance. Hey, look at you being all reasonable and shit. Don't come here with your reasonableness. I think it's still pushing the other way in ways you don't see. That's part of what Blair is also saying. She's like, no, you need to be pushing in the right direction here. You can't focus. You're focusing on the wrong thing. You are so terrified. It's the same thing as people going too far with homosexuality, where it's like you're so terrified that the rights are going to be taken away, that any criticism for any gay person is not allowed. That it must be a protected class as opposed to just a normal class of person that has a certain characteristic. Strike a balance is absolutely perfect. Yeah, sorry guys, you guys probably can't see it as well as I can. I think it's pushing the ways you don't see. So for me, her saying ways you don't see is she's paranoid about it, which I mean I understand. Whoa. I want to read the last message here, Zero Fox. What did you say? Why you not let me? Okay. I don't know why it's not letting me look at my picture properly. Open image in new tab. That's going. It's not letting me scroll. There you go. I still get pushing the other way. I'll probably get called a gay man 20 times a day. So what Blair said in this is she even said, let the people tell you that you're a gay man. Let them be hateful and stupid themselves. You need to focus on the right people so that those people can figure out that you're more than just a gay man. There are people. Nobody is denying that there are people that still need to also come to Jesus about trans people existing. I know. And some people don't. They won't come to it. But we need the best, like Blair said, at best, previously there was indifference. Now it's like people are actively against it because you came after the kids. Anyway, I was trying to show to be as kind as possible with her to keep the convo going. You did very well. Being reasonable is reasonable. Who knew? Yeah. Exactly. What do you think about? Do you think that she flip-flopped? Do you feel like it was too much of a flip-flop from Brianna? Because that's part of the. Okay, wait. I'm sure there are. Okay, so I finally can see the last message that Zerafak said. I'm sure there are forces pushing in both directions, but it's just an educated guess on my part. I imagine your specific case is more unique given your higher profile. So unfortunately, such bigots find their way to you more so than a random kid. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she didn't reply to you after that. Zerafak. But yeah, that was very well done, very well navigated. To her, maybe she thought she shut you down with that response. Petition to me, say flip flop. Do you see those ears? That's an Axie. Axel, you want a food? Want a food, boo? Yeah. Okay, ladies, we did not make the goals, so I don't have to draw anything. Today we also the goal expired like 3 hours ago, so we are done. But thank you, Big Ship, for your valiant efforts. I will dedicate a prompt to you on Thinkers tonight. Speaking of which, oh, sad you guys need to support it. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just a reminder that tonight is Thinkers, so that's I suppose like 8 hours from now. We will be having our usual doing a think, and we will have David Puff on for a very, very interesting chat. So please do not miss that. Brianna isn't ceding anything that affects her, and despite weasel words, didn't concede that transing kids was wrong. Yeah, she did not. She did not. It is nothing but a chance in tactics based on social winds changing. I think I'm going to star that message and put it in the video. David Puckter, yes, we're going to have Puckter live from prison. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for chilling with me, and wish me luck for the video. It's got to obviously it has to come out next week because it's Thursday already. I'm gonna make this video by tomorrow. So yeah, let's see if I can get that out on Monday or Tuesday. Have a nice life, everybody. And hey, there is an outro, but this is my outro video. Enjoy it. Go and subscribe, you shit.